Okay, hello, good afternoon. Are there others coming or they are not? Okay, never mind. Let us begin. So, yeah, here comes. Right, hello everyone. So, welcome to our seminar for Form 3. All right, so today we will cover a few things. Okay, before I begin, part of your notes have this thing, which is the seminar objective one. Okay, like 60 something pages one. This is the objective question. I'm not gonna discuss objective question today. This one, do it yourself. Answer we posted because this is the most time saving one. Fastest way for you to do revision is by doing objective. Okay, so I'm not discussing this today. Because it's really simple. You can do it yourself. Okay, so what are we doing today? So today we are going to do two model papers, and before we begin our model papers, we will sort of do like a quick revision first. All right, so we will have a break in the middle, so don't worry. All right, so let's look at our express notes for today first. Okay, our express notes let's begin with this. All right, so we will do two express notes. We will do the notes first, and then we will do a paper, and then we shall go for a rest in the middle, and then we repeat the same thing. All right, so as you can see, the notes can you see the number here? Number 6 here. So like this is a model short notes for model test 1. When you see a 6 here, that means this is for question 6. So if you go to your seminar model paper, if you go to test, this is model 1, set 1. If you go to question 6 here, you will see this is related. This one was about skin, right? So now it's also another one about skin. Okay, so we will try to revise. We will not revise all chapters today, because that will be pretty damn impossible. We will revise like not even half, I would say 40% of the chapters. All right, so hope you're ready. Let's begin with model test 1, the notes for model test 1. Let's start with this question 6 first. All right, so let's begin with skin, sense of touch. All right, so if you know this is your Form 3 chapter 1 when you learn about your skin. So remember, your skin has 3 layers. So your skin has, okay, 3 layers, not really 2. Okay, you have your epidermis, which is the upper one, and then dermis, which is the middle layer, and of course, there's another layer called the fatty layer, lapisan lemak, underneath your skin. All right, so if you pinch your skin, the part that can be pinched is your fats. These are fats. Okay, so dermis and epidermis is really thin. There's like a few mm's. Okay, really thin. All right, so let's look at the epidermis. Okay, epidermis. Oh, what does it mean by epi? Epi means top, uppermost. So epidermis is the outermost layer. This is the layer where you have your dead skin. Okay, sometimes when you peel your skin, that's the dead skin. And then underneath this skin is your dermis. Sometimes when you peel your skin, you see when you peel it too much, you see the red color stuff there. Not to the point you are bleeding, but you see some red part there. That's the dermis. You have peeled too far, so please stop before you start bleeding. All right, so anyway, let's see what is underneath there. Okay, the main important is our sensors, our receptors. So we have 5 types of receptors here. You have your pain receptor, cold and hot receptor, touch receptor, and your pressure receptor. They are arranged according to their importance. What do I mean? You see, who is at the top? Pain receptor. Receptor circuit. Why? Because pain is the most important sensation. Right? Why? Because pain means danger. That's why we don't like pain. Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe that's weird. But nobody likes pain. Pain means danger. When you are sleeping, when someone poke you at the back with a pin or something, you will just jump straight out because pain is something that our brain doesn't like. It registers it as danger. Okay, so the most important sensation is pain. That's why it's at the top, the most sensitive. And then second layer is the cold and hot receptor. I'll put a 2 here because they are at the second highest. Why cold and hot, cold and heat? Because the second most important function is homeostasis. Remember what is homeostasis? Your body keeping you warm keeping you at your temperature. When you are hot, your body will sweat. When you are cold, your hair will stand up to keep yourself warm. So cold and hot receptor is the second most important. Okay, these three helps you survive. Okay, and then go lower some more. The third highest will be your touch receptor. I see touch is not so important really. Not to say not important lah, but pain and hot cold is more important. Touch is something voluntary, something you can control, something you can feel. Okay, like when you touch something, oh, this is smooth, oh, this is rough. That is a touch receptor. All right, and then the lowest one would be your pressure receptor. This is the least important. Pressure receptor does something like this. When something is present in your skin, like when you are carrying something, oh, you see this is heavy. That's your pressure receptor. So we have 5 receptors here according to 4 layers. All right. So about this hot and cold receptor, heat and cold receptor, they are a little bit similar in shape here, but in exam they don't draw it this way. Okay, you can draw this. Cold receptor, they are usually round, right? And then heat receptor, they usually look like this. Okay, very easy to see. So heat receptor is the receptor that looks like popcorn, because popcorn is hot, what? So heat receptor looks like popcorn. Okay, they didn't draw it here lah, but you know, when you see popcorn, you know that it's heat receptor. Usually you will see this in the exam, because exam they won't give you this colorful picture. Rather you see this. Okay, and then cold receptor is, you know, round lah. Okay, so anyway, this next part is a very important part. Sensitivity of skin, kepekaan kulit. How sensitive your skin is. You know that fingertip is very sensitive, whereas your elbow here, not so much. That's why you pinch here, it's not painful. So it has 2 factors. Number 1, it depends on the number of receptor. Okay, jumlah receptor. More receptor you have, more sensitive it is. And of course, thickness of the epidermis, how thick your dead skin is. As you can see, your fingertip is really, really sensitive. Okay, your face is sensitive. Your elbow here is not so much. Okay, that's why you put here in hot water, you don't really feel anything. But okay, here's the thing. Have you noticed something? When you shower, you shower yourself with hot water. Okay, your body feels okay. But suddenly when you put that hot water on your face, oh my God, why is it so hot? Because your face is full of receptor. Do you know that? Why is your face so sensitive? Because your face has a lot of receptor and your face epidermis is really thin. Your face is very thin epidermis. This is why, which is the most oily skin on your body is your skin, your face. Why? Because the oil is here to protect your face. This is why your face needs a special cleanser. Yes, sure. Some people might say, sir, why do I wash my body with soap? But why do I wash my face with facial cleanser? Can't I just wash it with soap? Yes, you can, but this is a very thin skin. Okay, would you hurt your skin like this on your face? No, you wouldn't. That's why you use a face cleanser. It's not gay, Please stop saying that using a face cleanser is gay. It is not gay. Okay, anyway, so what is very sensitive to your touch? What has a lot of receptor and very thin skin? Your tip of the finger, your tongue, okay, your nose and the lips. These are really sensitive places. That's why sometimes you feel a cut on your lips, or sometimes you peel your skin, or because of dry lips. Oh my God, it feels so painful. Whereas where it's not sensitive, your elbow and your knee, okay, you kneel down, you don't really feel any pain. All right, and of course the sole of your foot, which is the back of the foot, and of course the back of the body, you don't really feel anything. Not to say don't feel anything, but it's not really that sensitive. That's why, okay, as you can see, large number of touch receptor, epidermis is thin. Small number of receptor, epidermis is thick. Okay, jumlah receptor yang kurang, epidermis yang tebal. All right, so where do we use this? Number 1, blind man depends on nerve endings on fingertips to read braille. Braille is the blind reading. You know this, right? Sometimes when you enter a lift, when you press button, sometimes the button they have like the protruding thing there. That's the for blind people lah. Okay, even on top of your banknotes, your money, you touch the upper right corner. There's like a dot there. If I'm not mistaken, 10 ringgit is like 1 dot. Is it like that? 5 ringgit is like a square. Okay, some I don't know, is it 50 or 100 is like 2 dots, something like that. Those are for blind people. Okay, and of course, injections are normally given an upper arm or buttocks, okay, which is here, and your buttock. I'm sure some of you guys here are vaccinated, right? Okay, have you got your vaccine? So if you do, this is usually vaccinated here. Okay, they won't inject your buttock lah, unless you're a baby. Because that will be really weird. You are usually in, vaccinated at your school hall. So takan your friends are rolling up their sleeves and then you are just pulling down your underwear silently there, so that the doctor can jab your butt. That would look really weird. Okay, I mean, you sure you can, if you're really scared of your needles, you can go for your butt, but damn, this is seriously weird. Okay, anyway, so a mother tests the temperature of the baby by placing a few drops of milk at the back of the hand, okay, here, or they can use it here also, because these places are really sensitive to temperature, right? Yeah, because I'm more sensitive. Okay, easy, this is your skin. You learned this year already. All right, so moving on, let's go to our characteristic of water. This is question 7. Okay, we should go to question 7 later. All right, so water is a basic life for all life on Earth. It's more than 70% of Earth's surface. Okay, this is not important. As for the characteristic of water, you only need to memorize like a few points. Okay, I'm sure some of it you already know. Freezing point 0. Okay, and please notice that freezing point is the same as melting point. Okay, takat beku and takat lebu is the same, it's 0. Whereas your boiling point is 100. Okay, your takat didit. I'm talking about pure water here, guys, not salt water or whatever. Okay, density of 1 gram per cm cube. Okay, they are colorless, odorless, and tasteless. Tanpa warna, tanpa bau, tanpa rasa, and of course, it has high surface tension. Okay, so you only need to memorize like 1 or 2 of it, because in exam, if they ask you for characteristic, you will usually ask for 1 or 2. Okay, so I will go for these 2. Okay, you don't even need to memorize this, you already know. All right, so let's look at effects of impurities of melting and boiling point, which is your benda saying. Okay, I'll just cut straight to the point. Salt will increase, you will decrease your melting point, and they will increase your boiling point. Okay, please write these 2 beside. You will immediately understand. You don't need to say it lowers the melting point, increase the boiling point. No, you just draw these here. When you are revising, you just see these words, you will understand. Okay, it makes your revision even quicker. All right, next, can I understand? So let's move on. So factors affecting the rate of evaporation of water. So basically, what are there only 2 factors? Okay, there are 2 more factors. You have your temperature, okay, suhu, and your surface area, which is your luas permukaan. Okay, this thing is basically how you dry your clothes. If you don't know all these factors, that means you're not an Asian, because you haven't helped your mom dry your clothes before. Okay, so 4 factors. Number 1, humidity, kelembapan. Number 2, movement of air, pergerakan udara, which is wind. Number 3, temperature, suhu. Number 4, surface area, jumlah permukaan, luas permukaan. So let's go straight to the point. If humidity is high, evaporation is low. Why? When your surrounding is wet, clothes cannot dry. Right? When it is rainy day, very humid, can you dry your clothes? Can you dry your clothes in Genting? No. Not to say cannot, but it's really slow because it's so humid. You cannot dry your clothes. As you can see, dry air can hold more water molecules that escape from surface of water. Okay, so evaporation increase. So can you see me drawing 2 arrows here? I like to do this because you see, when you do this, when you do your revision, you see up, down, humidity up, evaporation down. You see, very quick revision. Next, movement of air. When movement increase, evaporation increase. If it is windy, then clothes dry faster, right? This is why during a very hot weather, okay, which brings me to my next point also, temperature increase, evaporation increase. This is like your mom's ideal day. Okay, when the weather is really hot outside, wow, temperature very high, very windy, humidity very low, that's when your mom is the happiest. They will ask you, oh, faster go and hang the clothes. They will ask you to hang the clothes, right? Because your mom prefers afternoon to be very hot so that her clothes can dry very fast. Then makes her very happy. Okay, because you see, if your clothes dry very fast, very unlikely there will be bacteria growing on it. If there's no bacteria growing on your clothes, then it wouldn't stink. Okay, do you know this? So you see, when you dry your clothes on a rainy day, even one day, then the thing doesn't dry. And then when the thing dries, when you collect the clothes back, it kind of smells funky. You know why? Because when water dries very slowly, you have bacteria starting to grow on your clothes, and smell is usually caused by bacteria. So this is why your clothes will kind of smell, not good. So that's why your mom prefers a day to be hot so that her clothes can dry very quickly. Okay, so I don't know about your mom lah. When my mom see it's a very sunny day, wow, she gets very excited. She'll start washing her comforter, wash all the curtains. Okay, she'll start washing everything. Okay, and then when it's raining halfway, it stresses her out. You see, this is like our mom's favorite thing to do lah. Okay, and of course, surface area. So the larger the surface area, the higher the evaporation. So when surface area is high, that means you hang your clothes big, so they will dry faster, right? You don't dry your clothes like that. You just hang it open. So the more you open them, the higher the surface area, the faster they can dry. Okay, 4 factors. It's like testing you whether you know how to dry your clothes lah. Should you dry on a wet day or a dry day? Of course, dry on a dry day. Will you dry it on a windy day or less windy day? Of course, a windy day. Will you dry it on a hot day or a cold day? Of course, a hot day. Okay. Would you dry it closed or open? Of course, you dry it with the clothes open. Really simple. Okay. So moving on, let's go to the reactivity series. Okay, this thing is the most annoying and feared chapter. If you still remember, we actually learned this in our physical class in April, I guess. Okay, we only had 1 month of physical class this year. Hopefully, we'll be going back soon. After you guys receive your vaccine, then I believe that we can open. All right. So anyway, if you still remember this is your kalau na kawin. Okay, this is my way of memorizing. Mesti ada zakah fantastic supaya perkawinan Jun dan aman. Okay, so K is your kalium, okay, which is potassium. Okay, Na is natrium, which is your sodium. Okay, Ca is calcium, Mg is magnesium, Al is aluminum. Okay, Zn is zinc, Fe is iron, okay, which is Besi. Sn is tin or timah. You know biji timah, right? That's the thing. Pb is lead or plumum. Cu is copper or cuprum. Ag is silver, perak. So this list you need to memorize, especially if you are going for chemistry next year. You might as well just memorize it now, because next year you are using this all over. The exact same thing. Okay, you will use it until your SPM. So might as well you memorize it now. Okay, so let me repeat again. Kalau nak kawin, mesti ada zakah fantastic supaya perkawinan jun dan aman. Okay, you know it's zakah. Zakah is your PP lah. Okay, as a guy, you want to marry a girl, you want your marriage to be happy, you must have your PP to be very fantastic. So your wife will be very happy. You can make many babies. Okay, perkawinan jun dan aman. Jun means good. Okay, so memorize this list. And according to reactivity, okay, reactivity is how good looking a guy is. Okay, metals are guys. Okay, and there's a girl here called oxygen. I'm sure you know this already. So if you forgot already, let me repeat. Girls will want to marry very good looking guys, right? So this is a list of guys, and this is according to height. Can you see? Potassium is at the highest, silver is at the lowest. So this is like your body height. Potassium is the tallest guy. Silver is the shortest guy. As a girl, would you want to marry a short guy? No, of course not. You want to marry a tall guy. Okay, I'm not being shallow here. I'm just being very realistic. Okay, nobody would watch Captain America if it's 1.6 something. Okay, Thor wouldn't be attractive. You would think that Thor looks like dog shit if he's 1.6 something. But no, he's 1.8 something. You say, wow, so manly. Chris Hemsworth is so manly because he's taller. Okay, so girls would want to marry a tall guy. That's just a nature of it. So tall guys, they will kawin with oxygen. These short guys, oxygen will not look at them. Okay, if there's a 1.5 something cm guy come, okay, come for you. If you're a girl, you say, ew, no, so ugly. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. All right, so as you can see, reactivity depends on this. Okay, so this is about the Rampas wife story lah, huh? Okay, what do I mean? Let's say zinc oxide here. Okay, if you still remember carbon, carbon is here. Carbon is here. Okay, carbon is over here. That means in terms of good looking, carbon is better looking than these guys, but carbon is not so good looking as these five. These five are like, you know, the most very good looking, very lengzai, very kacak one. These five. Okay, so as you can see, zinc is married. Zinc is married to oxygen. Zinc has a wife, right? So if I put carbon here, is carbon better looking than zinc? Yes, as you can see, carbon is here, zinc is here. Carbon is so much better looking than zinc. Okay, it's better looking than zinc. So carbon will take the oxygen away. Okay, carbon will take the oxygen away. So as you can see, the mixture will glow because carbon took the oxygen away. So now zinc is left alone. As you can see, carbon and zinc oxide, you get zinc and carbon dioxide. Okay, where's the wife of zinc? Where's the oxygen? No more. Gonna rampas by carbon already because carbon is better looking. Carbon is a better looking guy. If as a girl you're married to someone and then a better guy come looking at you, of course you'll follow the guy. Maybe you won't lah. I'm just saying, okay, this is chemistry. All right, so next, carbon and aluminum oxide. Now aluminum has a wife. Aluminum has a wife. Okay, aluminum is married to oxygen. And now carbon is here. Okay, so who is better looking? Aluminum is better looking. So can aluminum take the carbon away? Okay, hang on, guys. Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's continue. Okay, continue about this aluminum oxide. So carbon is not as good looking as aluminum. So carbon can do nothing to aluminum because carbon is less reactive. Okay, so think of reactive as good looking. So carbon is less good looking than aluminum. Carbon is less reactive than aluminum. So same thing, lead oxide, lead is here. Okay, as you can see, wow, there are like 4 places differences. Carbon is so much more better looking than lead. So that's why the oxygen will be rampas away by carbon. As you can see, just now, carbon and zinc, they are very close to each other, although carbon is better looking. That's why you can only see glowing. The thing just kind of glow. But when you see the place is 4 difference, oh my god, this thing burns. There's a lot of difference. That's why the thing burns very brightly. Okay, need to write two. Oh no, this one don't need to write. All these 2, 3, you will write this in chemistry next year. So now don't bother. You can just write lead oxide. You won't be penalized for this. Okay, so don't worry. All right, anyway, so we can use this to extract metals lah. Any metal, any oxide lower than carbon, we can use carbon to rampas the oxygen away. Okay, if you get zinc oxide from the ground, how do you purify this thing to become pure zinc? You add carbon. Okay, iron oxide, how do you get pure iron? Add carbon. Tin oxide is biji timah. When you have biji timah, but you don't want biji timah, you want this thing to become pure timah tulen. You want pure tin. So what do? Add carbon. All these zinc oxide, iron oxide, tin oxide, lead oxide, copper oxide, all these you can add carbon to rampas their oxygen away. Can you do carbon to run past these five? No, these five cannot because they are too good looking. So everything lower, we can use carbon to extract. Okay, so carbon is located between zinc and aluminium. All right, we can extract using this thing. This is what we call a blast furnace. Okay, blast furnace. In BM, it's called relau bagas. Remember this thing? This is what we use to extract our iron with. So in this case, you have two things you need to memorize, which is these two. Okay, can you see got iron 2 and iron 3? That is not your concern. Just cancel it away. You are not memorizing these. So as you can see, iron oxide, iron is married. Carbon is better looking than iron. So carbon can run past the oxygen away. So now iron is left alone. Okay, so the oxygen follow carbon away already because carbon is better looking. Of course, you can also do this same for carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide, same thing. Carbon monoxide will also run past the oxygen away. You get carbon dioxide. Okay, so there's one more thing. This part here, they will add carbon oxide and coke, and then they will add something called calcium carbonate at the top. You know it's calcium carbonate, calcium carbonate, that's your limestone. What's the function of it? This one you only need to memorize one thing, which is to produce slag. What is a slag? Slag is this thing here. Okay, this is like the Caesar relau bagas. It's called sanga, but it's the Caesar. After doing all the extraction, you get your iron here. This is what we want. This one is the Caesar that we don't want. But somehow all this Caesar got used one. We don't just throw it away. This slag, we can use it to produce. I can write this down, to produce cement. Okay, untuk menghasilkan cement, which is the thing you use for building. Okay, you mean you build wall, you mean you use cement, right? So that's the function of the slag. So slag is the one of the major component in cement. Without slag, you cannot make cement. So that's the nice thing about this thing. So not only you are producing iron, you are also producing a raw material for cement. Okay, you learned this in April already, I'm sure. All right. So as you can see, iron, the molten iron flows to the bottom of the furnace. Okay, and then they are channeled into molds to cool and freeze, and then you get pure iron. And then of course the slag, I use it to make base of buildings and roads. Mostly is cement. Okay, mostly is cement. All right, so moving on. Next, let's go to work, energy, and power. These two, they are the same thing. Okay, kerja and tenaga is the same. Okay, it's just that when you have energy, okay, you can do work. That's the difference. Okay, it's the same thing. When you eat food, you have energy, then you can do work. So energy is work, same thing. Okay, tenaga and kerja is the same. So what is the formula? You only need to know this. Work, kerja, okay, is force times S, F times S. That means I can write this here, force times distance. Okay, distance or displacement lah. That means daya darab dengan jarak. Okay, product daya dan jarak. That means force times distance. You will get your work and energy. Same thing, and the unit is, you can either use Newton meter, or if you want, you can use joule. Joule is the energy you found on your roti, right? You go and read your roti, they will say, oh, 2 pieces of bread is 600 joule. Because food gives you energy so that you can use the energy to do work. So you're converting energy. All right, so next about power. Power is very easy. You just use your work or your energy, you divide by time, you will get power. Okay, you will get power. So you learned this last year already lah. So why do we need energy and power? Because, okay, let me put this very clearly for you. Okay, let's say 10,000 joule. Okay, 10,000 joule. A MyV can produce 10,000 joule. Okay, let's say Nissan GTR can also produce 10,000 joule. But why is the price so much different? Okay, MyV is 50,000 per car. GTR is like 600,000-700,000. So why so many times, like 10, 15 times different? Because although they can produce the same energy, they can do it in different time. Maybe MyV needs 10 seconds, whereas GTR, they can do it in 3 seconds. I'm just give you an example. So this is like 3 times faster. That's why you are paying more. Okay, so when we are measuring engine, we don't measure power, we don't measure energy, because every engine can produce that much energy. It's just that how long does it take? The point is the time. Okay, you drive a Myvi, can you reach Penang? Yes. You drive a GTR, can you reach Penang? Yes. But they do it in very different style. Myvi, you can at most go 160, 170. GTR can easily go 300. Okay, I mean, if you have the skill to drive it lah. That's a very different story. All right, so that's why. So work or energy divided by time, you will get power. Power is what we measure. That's why when you look at a car, you will ask how much horsepower does it produce? How much power does it produce? Okay, a Lamborghini is 600, 700 horsepower. A Myvi is like 100 horsepower. That's like 6 times more energy. That's why a Lamborghini is, I feel, much more expensive lah. Okay, well, obviously. All right, so anyway, next principle of conservation of energy. So this is called prinsip keabadian tenaga. Okay, what does it mean? I've mentioned this a million times. In a closed system, dalam sistem tertutup, that means in a closed system, no energy going in and out. Energy will not be lost. You cannot create energy. You cannot destroy energy. You can only convert energy. You know this, right? I'm sure you remember this, right? Okay, what does it mean? If your car has no petrol, can you start your car? Can you move your car? No, because there's no chemical energy. You cannot convert this thing to kinetic energy. You cannot just ask your car, hey car, create some energy for me, move for me. No energy how to move. Okay, when you don't eat, you cannot move because you cannot create energy. No, nothing can create energy. You can only convert energy. Same thing, can you destroy energy? No. When your car is going 180 on the highway, if you don't step on the brake, your car will never slow down. Because when you step on the brake, you're converting kinetic energy into heat energy. You're converting that kinetic away so that your car slows down. Without stepping on a brake, your car won't slow up. You won't convert this thing to heat. Your car will just crash into a wall. So you cannot just destroy that kinetic energy away. You cannot create, you cannot destroy energy, you can only convert energy. Tenaga tidak boleh dicipta, tidak boleh dimusnahkan, hanya boleh ditukar ke bentuk lain. You can only convert energy. Okay, and energy will stay the same. If you put 100 joule of petrol in your car, you will get 100 joule of kinetic energy, and when you brake, you will get 100 joule of heat at the end. So it's like accounting. At the end, the figure is always the same. You don't get one extra or one less. Right? It's just like you cannot create money. Money is just, printed, but you cannot create it. You know what I'm trying to say, So anyway, moving on, let's go to the next part. Heat insulator and heat conductor. Okay, this is a very simple part. You learned this in Form 2 already. Now, what is heat conductor? Conductor harbor is something that can carry heat very well. For example, metal. Okay, like copper. And then what is insulator? Insulator is things that cannot carry heat. For example, plastic. All right. So conductors are materials that allow heat flow. Insulators are materials that prevent heat flow. Okay, so for example, metals. So what are the examples here? If you have mercury, mercury is the only metal that is liquid in room temperature. That's what makes them very awesome. That's why you can use them in thermometer. Right, so they're very good heat conductor. They can detect change in temperature very quickly. And then the bottom of a pan, any cookware is made from metal. That's why when you put your pot on the stove, they can heat up very quickly. And then the base of an iron, when you're ironing your shirt, the base is iron. I mean, the material iron, not the thing. That's what it's called an iron. All right. And then, of course, non-metal. Let's look at non-metal. The wall of an ice box is made of fiberglass or polystyrene. Mostly it's polystyrene, okay, which are heat insulator that can maintain the coolness of substance inside the box. Okay, not really to maintain coolness. It's to stop heat from coming in. Why does your ice box stay cool? Because heat doesn't come in. It's not that the coolness go out. Okay, please stop saying that when you are in an aircon room. Stop saying that, oh, don't open the door because the cold air will flow out. No. It's not cold air going out. It's hot air coming in. Coldness doesn't exist. Heat exists. Okay, it's like saying when you switch on the light, please close the door because I don't want the darkness to come in. Is there something like that? No, there's no darkness coming in. There's only light going out. So there's no coolness. It's hot heat coming in. All right. So cooking utensils are made of wood, are capable of preventing heat from flowing to the hand. That's why your candle is made from wood or plastic. And then oven gloves are heat insulators that can prevent your hand from getting scalded while taking food tray out from the oven. So you use your, it's called mittens. I don't think it's called oven gloves. Obviously, Yi is not a chef lah. This is called mittens. That's what I was saying. Oven glove. There's something weird about this word. Okay, that's your mitten. I ask your mom lah. She will know lah. If she bakes, then she has like 2 mittens to take things out from the oven. Okay, you know what I mean. Okay, next, heat radiator. This is called Bernina Harbor. Okay, what is heat radiator? If I can give out heat very easily, that means I'm a heat radiator. Okay, that's the opposite of heat absorber. If I absorb heat, I'm a heat absorber. If I give out heat, I'm a heat radiator. Radiate means to give. I radiate, radiation what? Okay, you get heat from the sun by radiation, remember? Okay, 3 methods of heat transfer. One of it is radiation. So heat from the sun is radiation. So sun gives you heat by radiation. Okay, it gives away heat. So if you have a cup of water, hot water, you can feel the heat. The hot water is giving out heat by radiation. Okay, so heat radiator. So what makes a good heat radiator? Okay, a dark and dull surface. Okay, if your surface is dark like black, dull like not shiny, they are very good in giving out heat. They are also good heat absorber. Okay, if you can absorb heat well, you can radiate heat well. It's the same. Okay, so if you wear dark t-shirt, if you wear black t-shirt, you go under the sun, your t-shirt heats up very quickly. It gets very hot. But when you go into an aircon room, this thing cools down very quickly. So black is like one extreme. Whereas white and shiny object, okay, they are poor heat radiator. They are also poor heat conductor, a poor heat absorber. White t-shirt doesn't absorb heat well. They also don't give out heat well. Now, they give out heat very slowly. All right, so this is why the back of your refrigerator is black, and then your car radiator is black. You know what is a car radiator? In front of your car, do you know there's a part that gives out heat? Next time when your daddy starts your car, you go in front, you should feel the heat coming out. That's the radiator. The thing is to cool your engine. If not, your engine will just overheat. All right, and then of course, shiny one is your thermos flask. Your thermos flask is the one that can keep your drinks hot, okay, or cold, because it has shiny surface on the inside. And then boilers are painted with aluminium so that they can remain, you know, keep the heat inside. They don't want them to lose heat. Okay, very easy. Okay, Bernina and then Bernera. Okay, absorber is Bernera Harbor. Okay, next, moving on. Let's look at our lever. Lever is your basic machine, simple machine. So you have your first class, second class, and third class. How do you recognize them? Recognize the guy in the middle. So F, L, E. Okay, I just remember it as FAL. Okay, without the I lah. Okay, without the I, so FLE. So if fulcrum is in the middle, it is first class. Load is at the middle, second class. Effort in the middle is third class. Okay, so remember it's fulcrum. Load is your beban. E, effort is your diet, the part you are using your force. So, and you need to know their example. So first class, what do we have? We have our plier. This plier and scissor is the same thing. They have the point in the middle. That's the fulcrum. Okay, and then can opener. Okay, the thing you use to open your beer. And then claw hammer. Seesaw. Is it seesaw? You have things going this way. See, fulcrum is in the middle. That's the first class level. All right, second class, which is your wheelbarrow, the thing you use to carry your sand, your nutcracker, paper cutter, and bottle opener. Okay, and of course, your third class level is your ice tong, okay, the thing you use to clip your ice, fishing rod, broom, human's arm, and faucet. Need to know the example. So which is the most effort saving one? Which is the easiest to use? Okay, which is the easiest to use? Easiest will be your second class. You know why? You know why? This has something to do with what we call moment. Moment is the twisting force. So the longer the distance between effort and fulcrum, the easier your job is gonna be. Okay, it's like when you're opening your car tire nut. Have you tried having a flat tire by the side of the road? If you're trying to open the tire nut, it's very hard to open if you're using a short spanner. Okay, if you are imagine this is the nut, you're using a short spanner, very hard to open. If you use like a 2 meters long spanner, you just turn it easily, the thing will just come out. Okay, this is why, okay, similar concept. If you use a long broom, if your broom or your mop is long handle, very easily for you to mop. If your broom is like this short, okay, how do you wipe? How do you sweep? Very hard to sweep because the moment is very small. So the longer between effort and fulcrum, the easier your job is going to be. This is why you see, first class, your effort and fulcrum is like that. Your third class, effort and fulcrum is like that. Whereas in second class, can you see your effort and fulcrum is like this? It's a much longer. That's why second class is the best to use because there's a long distance between effort and fulcrum. Okay, easy, you learned this 1, 2 already. Of course, next is your pressure. This thing I'm not going to talk too much because this is mostly atmospheric pressure. Okay, atmospheric pressure. Okay, for atmospheric pressure, you just have to memorize this. Very easy. Pressure will always go from high to low. Always high to low. This is why when you are sucking on a straw, okay, when you're sucking on a straw, okay, when you suck your straw, inside here has low pressure because you suck the air away, so inside is low pressure. Surrounding atmospheric pressure very high, so pressure will go from high to low, so it will push your drink into your straw. Okay, always remember high to low. So your plunger is like this. Okay, when you plunge your stuck toilet, you are using okay, your plunger works like this. Okay, you remember you learned this last year. So outside has high pressure, inside has low pressure. This is your pipe. Okay, if there's a blockage here, here got high pressure. All right, so pressure will go from high to low. So if you use a plunger, you pull, the pressure is going to push this blockage out. Okay, same goes to siphon. Okay, siphon is almost like a straw. It's just that you are transferring liquid from one container to another container like that. That's a siphon. Okay, so high pressure here, low pressure inside. So the liquid just be pushed inside to the other beaker. All right. This is question 11. Okay, this is the next part already. Okay, you know what? We finished the first part of our revision. Let us go into our model paper. Okay, let us go into our model paper set 1. Okay, we will do 2 sets today. We have done our first revision set. Okay, let's do our exercise now. All right, I will revise along the way as well. I'll try to cover as much as I can. Okay, so first question. Diagram 1 shows a bubble map describes the main parts of the lever. We just did this. Okay, lever has 3 parts, which is the load, which is FLE . Okay, so load they give you already, the Beban, of course you have your effort, tire, and you have your force. Not force, sorry, fulcrum. Okay, in the name is fulcrum. Okay, this is a bit too easy, isn't it? Easy 2 marks for you. All right, so you pray that your exam is like that. Okay, so next, moving on. B, name the following measuring tool. State the unit for the measuring tool. Okay, what is this? This is your spring balance. Okay, spring balance, ratio spring. So what's the unit we use? Remember, this thing is used to measure weight, not mass. Different. Untuk mengukur berat bukan jisim. That's the difference. Okay, if you are 70 kg, that's your mass. That's how many atoms you have. When you go to the moon, you become lighter because your gravity decreases, but your mass still remains the same. you are still the same number of atoms. So it doesn't change. Okay, so the unit is Newton, not kg. Kg is mass. If you use your triple beam balance or your lever balance, okay, neraca tuas and your neraca palang, is it? The one. So those two are for mass. But your neraca spring, this is the only neraca for berat, which is for weight. Don't forget, this is basic Form 1 stuff. Anyway, number 2, match the following vitamins to correct deficiency diseases. All right, so when you lack vitamin B, you will get beriberi. Okay, what is beriberi? Basically, beriberi is a nerve disease. Okay, whenever you see vitamin B, it has something to do with your nerve. This is why if you lack vitamin B, you become very tired. So beriberi is like something like you will get muscle cramp, you will get nerve weakness. You don't see this thing here. You don't see this thing here. This is a very African disease. It's like kwashiorkor and marasmus. All right, you don't see this thing here. In fact, Malaysia, we should worry about the other end, which is obesity. We eat too freaking much. Okay, do you know Malaysia is one of the fattest country in Southeast Asia because we eat sugar. Let's face it, you look at our Malaysian food, it's all fatty and unhealthy food. Think about it. Nasi lemak, yes, sure, it's very iconic, it's very Malaysian. Yeah, go Malaysia. But still, it is not healthy. The sambal is full of fats and sugar. And then nasi lemak, rice itself is already full of carbohydrate. Now what do? Oh, you put it in santan, make it much more fatty. You see, the rice and the sambal is already worse, it's already bad enough. And then later you add rendang or you add daging, that thing has much more fats. Okay, and then you add your ikan bilis and your kacang, that is fats as well. So one bowl of nasi lemak easily sets you around 800 calories. For girls, you need 1,004 to 1,006 calories. One meal nasi lemak, that's like half of what you need every day. Guys, if you eat 2,000, normally guys will eat 2,000 calories. For you, that's like almost half of what you eat every day already. So how can you not be fat? Okay, that's just nasi lemak. You look at char kway teow, you look at asam laksa, it's all the same. It's full of carbohydrate and fats. That's why we all become obese. Okay, now you have your bubble tea and whatnot. Sugar is everywhere. All right, so we don't have these things. You don't see beriberi here in Malaysia. Unless you are too poor to even afford flour. You cannot even afford roti canai. Even flour, inside flour already got vitamin B. So if you are saying that, sir, I'm so poor that I cannot even afford flour, then I come to me like I belanja you, okay, seriously. So D is your rickets. Rickets is when your bones become brittle, okay, or you can say osteoporosis. This is mostly for middle-aged women, especially when you hit menopause. When your period stops already, you will lose a lot of calcium. So this is why D is tied together with calcium and phosphorus. Okay, phosphorus. These two, they are three friends that keeps your bones and teeth healthy. Right. So how about night blindness? Night blindness is vitamin A. Night blindness is vitamin A, and then vitamin C is scurvy. Okay, scurvy is when you have your bleeding gum. Okay, and then vitamin E is infertility. That means your sperm cannot swim. And then vitamin K is for blood clotting. You have blood clotting issue. That means if you don't eat enough vitamin K, when you bleed, your blood clots very slowly. You will lose a lot of blood. This is very important if you are giving birth. You know, giving birth lose a lot of blood, right? I mean, if you are going to give birth, the doctors will check whether you have vitamin K deficiency. All right, so remember one disease for each vitamin. Really easy. You learn this in Form 2. All right, next, circle 2 food that contains protein. Protein is mostly meat and milk. So you have your chicken here and your susu here. Margarine is fats. Lemak. Potato is carbohydrate. Okay, remember 7 classes of food. Carbohydrate, protein, fats, mineral, vitamin, fiber, and water. Okay, so balanced diet is when you eat all 7 classes in the correct amount. Okay, in the correct amount. All right, next, number 3. So padankan vector dengan penyakit betul. Match vector and the correct disease. Who are vectors? Vectors are animals or insects that carry diseases. For example, Aedes mosquito, what do they carry? They carry Zika or dengue lah. Okay, dengue. And then cockroach, they will carry typhoid fever. Okay, this thing used to be a very deadly disease last time, because last time people were really dirty. Do you know in the Middle Ages, okay, zaman pertengahan, like 11 something, 1200 something in Europe, people used to live very dirty. Okay, because last time, soap is not something that you can afford. Nowadays, everyone will shower already, so this is why you don't see typhoid fever everywhere. The same goes to cholera. Cholera is mostly spread by rats. Okay, tikus, this is basically food poisoning. Cholera is food poisoning. You don't see cholera now unless you drink unchlorinated water. As long as your water got chlorine, you will not get cholera. Unless it is really dirty, you go to a restaurant, rats running everywhere. If you see rats running everywhere, you still go and eat there. If you kena cholera, then padan muka lah, seriously. You already saw the signs. Why are you still eating that? Okay, here's the thing lah. Malaysia, the health ministry, okay, do you know every restaurant has a safety rating from A to C? A means the restaurant is very clean. C means the restaurant is okay. Anything lower than C or D, you will fail. That means you cannot renew your license. But you see, you can easily bribe the officers. You can just give them money and say, hey, you tolong me, say that my shop is very clean. So they do that. Okay, how do I know? Because I used to work in restaurants before. Even restaurants saying A, please don't believe it. The A is just lucky that the pegawai, when they come, the restaurant is very clean. After the pegawai left, they just couldn't give two shits anymore. They will just make the shop dirty again. So A doesn't mean the restaurant is clean. Okay, this is why the best is not to eat outside if you're really paranoid. Okay, next B. Diagram 3 shows a graph of concentration of antibody of blood against time. Okay, if you still remember what is antibody, antibody is the thing inside your blood that fights the disease. Let's say today you kena COVID-19. Okay, so how do they know you got COVID-19? They will just do a swab test. Any of you done that before? Very painful to do. It's like one long stick. They just put it inside your nose. So if they swap it and then they put it on the testing kit. Oh, we found COVID-19 antibody. Okay, if your body has COVID-19 antibodies, means you're infected. You have that thing inside your body. Okay, you don't produce COVID-19 antibody for no reason. If there's an antibody there, that means there's the virus inside you. So if you look at this graph, you see, after the first injection, okay, this thing just drops again. I inject again, the thing drops again. What does it mean? If I need to keep injecting and this thing keeps dropping, that means this is passive immunity. Okay, passive. What does it mean by passive? That means your body doesn't produce antibody. Okay, tidak hasilkan antibody. So this is like a temporary protection. After the thing is no more, you are not protected. But the good thing about passive is it is very fast. It is very fast. Whereas if your graph looks like this, this is active. This is your vaccine. Okay, this is active. This is your anti-serum. Anti-serum is like a quick fix, whereas active is a vaccine. So now you are taking your vaccine, right? So this is why vaccine takes time. I'm sure some of you had your first dose. I'm sure after first dose, they will say, oh, you need to wait 3 to 4 weeks, and then we will give you the second dose. Why? Because after the first dose, they need time for your body to produce the antibody. And then when the thing starts dropping again, we need to give you the injection again so that you can produce more protection. So now there's even a talk that they are going to give the third shot to further protect you from more Delta variant or whatever. So that's why you have your third shot. So you keep increasing your antibody. See, you are producing your own antibody. It's like this one, I'm giving you a fish to eat. This one, I'm teaching you how to fish. I'm teaching your body to do it yourself. Whereas this one, my body is just sitting back. Okay, I'm just chilling, and then I'm just getting my antibody from elsewhere. This is very temporary. Okay, this is mostly for emergencies lah, like snake poison. You gonna snake venom, or you gonna like rabies. You know rabies, right? Rabies is a very deadly disease. So if you're gonna bitten by stray dogs or cats, you need to get your vaccine. You need to get your anti-serum. Okay, sorry for my dogs. They are very noisy today. Okay, so anyway, so write true or false in the box below. Immunity is lifelong. Is this thing lifelong? No, this is very temporary. Okay, it might only last for a few months. After a few more months, you go and test for antibody. If there's no more, then you need to go for injection again. Okay, next, immunity increase when anti-serum is injected. So when you inject anti-serum, is this anti-serum? Yes, true. Okay, like I told you, this is an anti-serum. Okay, this is an anti-serum. And of course, number 3, immunity is immediate. Yes, as I said, this thing is immediate. If you're gonna snake poison, snake venom, you just go to any clinic, they'll just give you an injection. This thing will work immediately. Whereas your vaccine, it takes weeks to develop. This is why for your mycejatra to show fully vaccinated, it will take you for like 6-7 weeks. Okay, after the first injection, you need to wait like 4 weeks. And then you need to inject second dose, and you need to wait for 2 more weeks. If you're taking Pfizer lah, okay, Pfizer and AZ is the same. Where if you are taking Sinovac, then it's like 4 weeks, I think there's only 1 dose lah. So different vaccine, they work differently. So you might say, so why is this vaccine different? Because it's developed by different companies. They work in different mechanism. They deliver the virus to you differently. So this is why you have Moderna, you have Pfizer, you have AZ, you have Sinovac, you have Sputnik 5. So all of them, they work differently. All right, so not all vaccines are the same, but they do the same job, which is to protect you. So don't choose. Don't say, hey, why am I Pfizer? Why can't I just take AZ? Or why can't I just take Sinovac? The best vaccine is the one available to you. Okay, the best vaccine is the fastest you take. The faster you take it means you're more protected. Okay, you know, they are like this anti-vaccine movement in Malaysia now. If I'm not mistaken, around 6,000 something teachers in Malaysia, they refuse to take vaccine. They think that vaccine is fake. Okay, they say inside the vaccine got microchip, and the microchip can control our brain. The government will control us. They will use the microchip and spy on us. Okay, don't listen to stupid people lah. Okay, it will just, when you talk to stupid people, you just reduce your IQ. So take your bloody vaccine. All right, anyway, moving on. Let's go to our number 4. Okay, let's go to number 4. So what is this? These are 2 electric generators, okay, which is P and Q. This one I think is fossil fuel. Okay, because I can see them correlate petrol from underground. This thing easily, this is your hydroelectric lah. Okay, you see the empangan here. This is hydroelectric. So 2 difference between the generator. What's the difference between fossil fuel and hydroelectric? Okay, the first I can say, the most easiest is this is non-renewable. Non-renewable. Tidak boleh diperbaharui. Whereas this is renewable. Okay, boleh diperbaharui. So fossil fuel is limited. Once you finish it, then there will be no more. Whereas hydroelectric is always there. Okay, there will not be we will not run out of water. So when there's water, this will for sure work. All right. So, and then number 2, what else difference here? Okay, you can talk about CO2. This thing will produce carbon dioxide, menghasilkan carbon dioxide. This one does not. Okay, does not produce carbon dioxide. You can write this yourself. So, because when you burn fossil fuel, pembakaran, combustion is going to produce carbon dioxide, whether you like it or not. Whereas hydroelectric, do you see any burning here? No. So do you see any carbon dioxide here? No. So long-term wise, this is much more better for the environment. Okay, but here's the thing Today, the whole world 80% of our electricity is still from fossil fuel. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, hydroelectric is only like 1%. So you might say, so since you say this is so bad, right? Why are we depending 80% of it? Because you have no choice. Okay, is there anything better than fossil? Yes, there is. It's actually nuclear. But you know lah, people are just scared of nuclear lah. Oh no, nuclear is dangerous. Nuclear produces radiation. Oh no, we shouldn't use nuclear. Then okay lah, we continue burning fossil fuel lah. Okay, as you can see, the global warming is getting worse and worse because we just couldn't stop burning fossil fuel. Okay, people are just too stubborn to move on to nuclear. All right, so next, mesh generator P and Q with their sources of energy. Okay, P is your arang batu. You know, it's your arang batu, right? Arang batu is coal. You can, there are three sources of of fossil fuel, which is your petrol, the one in your car, natural gas, the one you use for cooking. Malaysia will also use natural gas to generate electricity. And of course, coal, which is your arang batu. Who uses arang batu? If you go to Beijing, okay, China, they use a lot of coal. China, they use coal. That's why in coal is really dirty. When you burn coal, it produces a lot of dust and acid rain. This is why in China, acid rain is very serious and they are hazy all the time, especially in winter. If you go to Beijing in winter, you see haze everywhere because during winter, weather gets very cold. Every household need to switch on heater. So when every household switch on heater, they need to burn more coal to produce more electricity. So when they burn more coal, produce more dust. So if you go to the northern side of China, like Liaoning or Beijing or even Nanking, or even like Heilongjiang, if you go to those places during winter, air quality is seriously bad because they just burn more coal. They have no choice. All right, so Q is a hydro. Hydro will use water. Okay, sunlight is solar, radioactive is nuclear. So the best is nuclear. I hate to say it, nuclear is the best because it produces the most energy and it saves the most space. Okay, nuclear power plant is really small compared to hydroelectric. When you build a big empangan, no need. Nuclear is the cleanest energy. Okay, this is why Japan uses nuclear. Okay, so moving on. Let's go to number 5. This is your sun. We just learned this like few weeks ago, right? All right. So let's look at what are these. Okay, prominence is your this thing. This thing is your prominence. Semarak Surya. Okay, and then this is your sunspot, Tompok Matahari. Okay, so what is a solar flare? Okay, if you look at your sun, if there's a small explosion, a small boom boom, it's called solar flare. And if there's a big boom boom, it's called CME. So is this a boom boom? No, prominence is not a boom boom. Prominence is a fire ring. It's like a fire ring. This is a fire ring. This is a boom boom. Is there a difference between a burning house and an exploding house? Yes, burning house is burning. Okay, the fire is steady, which is this thing. Exploding house is boom. One boom, there's no more. So which is your solar flare and your CME. These two, they will create interference inside our Earth. When they come inside, when they shoot into Earth, that's how we get aurora. Aurora is caused by solar flare and CME. Okay. Anyway, next. Take the tool structure which is labeled correctly. Core is correct. Okay, photosphere is wrong. No, this is not photosphere. And then chromosphere, this one is wrong also. Corona is the outside. So if you still remember, this middle zone is called convection zone. Zone perolakan. And the outside one, okay, there should be one more outside which is a radiation zone. Okay, zone sinaran. These three are the inner layers of your sun. And then the outer layer got 3. Okay, outer layer here. The innermost outer layer is your photosphere. Okay, photosphere. Why do we call it photo? Because this is the part that produces light. The sunlight you see comes from photosphere. And then this one is your chromosphere. What is it called? Chromo, you don't see it. You will only see chromosphere during a solar eclipse. Okay, when solar eclipse, you see like a white ring there. The white ring is the chromosphere. And of course, funny enough, the outermost is called corona. Okay, corona, which is the outermost layer here. So why do we call it corona? Because corona is actually crown in Spanish. You know, crown. Crown, you put it at the top part of your head, so it's at the outermost of the sun. That's why is it called coronavirus? Because it looks like a crown. Okay, now we call it a crown virus. It will sound really lame. So we call it coronavirus. Okay, so next, moving on, let's go to section C. Number 6, Armin is gardening. This is what we revised just now, which is the skin part. Armin is gardening. He cuts a few stalks of flower. 6.1 shows the flower that was cut by Armin. Okay, so state the receptor and the response involved. Okay, so he cut himself, right? What is the receptor involved? It will involve your pain receptor. Okay, receptor kesakitan, receptor sakit. Okay, response involved. What is this response? Is it reflex action? I think this is reflex, right? Have you learned what is reflex action? Okay, tindak balas, reflex. Reflex is when you touch something hot and then you you see, this is involuntary. When your friend tickles you, you go ooh. Okay, this is reflex because it's like your brain recognizing danger. Your brain automatically withdraw from danger. You don't just touch hot water. Okay, this is bloody hot. Oh my god, this is hot. No, it doesn't slow down. This takes like 0.1 second. Your body recognizes danger, then the thing will just go off. All right, so next B, state the location of the receptor 6A in the sensory organ for touching. So where is it? It will be pain receptor is usually in your epidermis. Okay, if you can see your express note just now, okay, your pain receptor is here. Can you see? It's inside the epidermis. It's really close to the top of your skin. Okay, because it's, you know, it helps you detect pain. Pain is the most important sensation, as I said. It makes you, we don't like pain. Pain means danger. All right, so see, Armin collected and burned the dry leaves. The smoke made his eyes blink. Explain the type of response and its importance. Okay, again, this is a reflex action. Okay, tindak balas reflex. Okay, its importance is to withdraw from danger. Okay, untuk elakkan kebahayaan. When you touch something hot, or when you touch something sharp, you will withdraw your hand. Okay, so you might say, sir, then why is tickling, make us reflex again? Okay, when you tickle someone, okay, tickle makes you itchy. Itchy is a type of pain. You might say, sir, if my skin itches, what type of receptor it is? It is a pain receptor. When you are itchy, your pain receptor is stimulated. But you see, then why is it different? Why is itchy and pain different? When you are painful, when someone smacks you, you feel pain because the pain receptor is fully stimulated. The receptor is like sending full signal to your brain, telling your brain, hey bro, this is really painful. Whereas when you are ticklish, when you are itchy, the pain receptor is like half. The pain receptor is like, it is painful, but not too painful. So your pain receptor is like sending half message to your brain. So your brain is like, not really painful. Oh, should you please go and they would just tell your muscle, muscle, can you please go check it out? So your muscle will go and scratch. Okay, no more. Okay, I checked already, I scratched it already. Okay, there's no pain. So you just scratch the itch away already, no? So this is why tickling you makes you reflex, because it's a type of pain. Okay, tickling is a type of pain. Okay, this depends on person to person. Some people, their brain recognize tickling as very painful. Like me, I'm an example. I cannot tahan tickling one. Okay, you touch me a little bit here, I cannot stand it. Some people are you just tickle them like, then they will say, okay, what are you doing, bro? Because their brain doesn't really recognize the thing. Their brain is like very chill. Okay, it's like, nah, this is nothing danger. So why am I withdrawing myself away. This is pretty cool. So it depends on your brain, right? This is what you're born with, lah. You cannot change the thing. Okay, so next, Armin's brother were playing at the reflexology area. Okay, you know what's reflexology? This is kind of a bullshit that old people believe in. Those stone thing, you go to some parks, they got one. Okay, they have like a stone walkway. You have to take off your shoe and then you just stand there, which hurts like hell. And they say, the more pain it causes, wow, it makes you more healthy. Is it really so? No. If you believe in this thing, I'm sorry to tell you, this doesn't work. There's no scientific research that proves that pain on your bottom of your feet makes you healthy. No, it doesn't work. But unfortunately, many Chinese believe in this thing. Okay, that's why you see some old people, they go to park with their naked feet and then they just start walking on this thing. All right, and this dude is probably crazy. He carried out the activity as shown as sick photo. What the hell would you do this? Okay, you must be some sadist or something. You just want to hurt yourself. Okay, well, to each of his own, I guess. Okay, so which situation you will feel less pain? Obviously, pee. Okay, why? Okay, because you have less pain receptor at bottom of the feet compared to palm. Okay, you have more receptor here. It's gonna feel more painful here. This is why we don't walk like this. Okay, when your feet steps on a pebble, you'll probably feel like, okay, so it's a little bit painful. But if you use your hand and you press on it, oh my god, it hurts like hell because of the receptor. Okay, so lebih kurang receptor sakit di bawah kaki. Okay, berbanding dengan tapak tangan. Okay, tapak kaki, sorry. Okay, so 3 marks. Let's go for another mark. So what should you say? So less pain receptor, or you can even say thicker skin. Okay, thicker epidermis. Thicker epidermis. Okay, same story lah. Thicker epidermis at the bottom of the feet compared to your palm. Okay, that's why your feet doesn't bleed that easily. Your hands will bleed very easily. Okay, and this is also why if you wash your feet with strong soap, okay, your feet doesn't feel dry. I'm sure when you wash your dishes for like 10-20 minutes your hand feels dry, right? You know why? Because the skin of your hand is really, really thin. If you wash it with a very strong soap, it will just strip your oil away. If your hand has no more oil, okay, the sebum is the oil on your skin. So the sebum is keeping your hand wet. So after washing your clothes, or you have done washing for an hour. Let's say you're preparing for Chinese New Year or something. So after washing for an hour, your hand feels really, really dry. So please wear some gloves because the cleaning agent on your skin is not really good. It strips away your oil. So this is why, like I said just now, you don't use soap to wash your face. You use a face cleanser because the skin on your face is really sensitive. That's why if you use soap to wash your face, you will get pimples. You will dry your face so much that bacteria will start going into your skin, then you will have breakouts. So don't just wash your face using soap. It's not very good for your skin. All right, so moving on, let's go to question 7. This is a flood in Kampong Damai. The school was used as an evacuation center. A group volunteer were on duty. So state one characteristic of pure water. Hiya, mentioned this already lah. You can say melting point or freezing point of 0 or boiling point of 100. Takat lebo, takat didih, and takat beku. Okay, you can say high surface tension, odorless, tasteless, colorless, density 1 gram per cm cube. Any one of it, you just need 1 point. I will usually just stick to these points because they are the easiest to write. Okay, number B. Explain why car in diagram 7.1 sink. Why is the car sinking here? When something sinks in water, it is because of density, right? Ketumpatan, right? Okay, so the car is denser than water. Okay, kereta lebih tumpat daripada air. Okay, so denser object sinks. Benda lebih tumpat tenggelam. Okay, denser object will sink. This is why you sink in water, because you are denser than water. Unless you're dead lah. Okay, you are full of air, you are full of air inside because you're decomposing, and then you float on water. That's why dead bodies float on water. Because when you are dead, inside of you, you are decomposing. When bacteria is decomposing you, you are producing carbon dioxide inside. Decomposition produces carbon dioxide. So when they decompose your body is basically like a balloon. So they will float. That's why dead bodies float on water. And usually when you see a body floating on water, it is usually already a few days old. The thing has been decomposing for a few days. All right, so next, C, Ali dries the wet clothes in the room as shown. Why is he drying his clothes in the room? Okay, well, obviously it's not going to get it dry. So explain why clothes in 7.2 are unable to dry fast. Well, professor, you cannot dry your clothes in your room. Why? Because you can say high humidity. Okay, high humidity. So your evaporation is low. I'm just gonna draw arrows here. Kelembapan tinggi, penyejatan air rendah. So your clothes dry very slow. What else can you say? Besides humidity, you can say movement of air. There's lower movement of air. There's no wind in a room. Okay, low movement of air. So evaporation. You can even say temperature, low temperature. I don't understand why is it not mentioned in the notes. You can always say low temperature. Inside your room, it will be cooler. Because room temperature, there's no sun. Cooler. So your evaporation will also be lower. So 3 points you can write. So can you write surface area here? No, because you see he's drying his clothes correctly. He did open his clothes. Just that he's not putting it outside, whereas he's taking all these factors away. He did dry correctly lah. Okay, so if guys, quick tip, if you want to dry your clothes very quickly, let's say you just wash your clothes tonight, but tomorrow morning you need to wear it. What do? Put it in aircon room. Put it in aircon room. Switch on your aircon and make it colder, and then put your clothes there. You know why? Because aircon room gets really dry. This is why when you switch on your aircon, if you look at the pipe outside your house, you can see the water dripping. Why? Because when your aircon is really cold, it will condense water inside your room. That's why your room gets very dry. This is why when you are in an aircon room, your nose and your throat, after a few hours, it gets very dry and painful because it dries. The aircon is like a dehumidifier. That's why if your room is very warm and wet, it feels uncomfortable, makes it very sticky. You switch on your aircon, immediately your room gets dry. You suddenly feel you're not so sweaty anymore. It dries your room. So when it dries your room, it also dries your clothes. Trust me, if your aircon is cold enough, the next day you wake up, your clothes will be drier even than you put it in the sun. I've done it plenty of times. Okay. So this is why don't stay in an aircon room for too long because it dries your skin. It's not very good for your skin. Right, so D. Diagram 7.3 shows two kettles G and K that contains two types of hot drinks for the flood victim. So you have hot water and hot water plus coffee. Obviously, the coffee is an impurity. Okay, so based on 7.3, hot drinks in which kettle has a higher boiling point? Explain your answer. Of course, it would be in K. Okay, because it contains coffee, which is an impurity. Okay, mengandungi kopi yang merupakan benda asing. So, impurities increases boiling point of water. Benda asing tingkatkan bakat ide. That's why you put salt. So same thing. One more thing I want to tell. This is not in the question, but good to know. Salt will also decrease the melting point of ice. This is why in winter countries, if you go to certain states in America, let's say Minnesota, let's say you go to Canada. Canada will snow, right? So what they do is, okay, during winter, they have like snow on the road, which is very dangerous because if your tire hits the snow, your tire can skid, your car will go out of control. So what they do is they will sprinkle salt on the road. Okay, we call it road salt. So the salt will make the road ice melt, the snow melt, so that the road is safe to drive on. But it has one bad point. When this salt sticks to the bottom of the car, it makes your car rust. That's why cars in snowing countries, if you go to the bottom of the car, you will see rust everywhere. Okay, very common. You will see it is because of the salt. So if you live in like New York, Minnesota, if you live like Seattle, Seattle is also it's also quite cold. All these cold countries, cold states. If you go to Florida, you now not see this problem because Florida is not that cold. Florida doesn't snow. Yeah, sure, in winter they are getting cold, but they don't snow. So cars from Florida, you will know because the bottom doesn't rust. If you buy a car from New York, you will know it's a car from New York because the bottom will rust like crazy. Unless you are very hardworking. After every winter, every year, you just wash the bottom of your car. Nobody washes the bottom of the car because it's really difficult. You need to wash away all the road salt. So this thing will come on in the exam also, which is the salt melting road snow. Okay, so moving on. Number 8, Suresh wants to determine the reactivity of 3 metals, mixed carbon with magnesium, copper, and P oxide. Okay, so as you can see, carbon and magnesium oxide. So who is married here? Magnesium is married to oxygen. Can carbon take the wife away? No. What does it mean? That means magnesium is better looking. Obviously, you know this, right? Magnesium is ranking number 4. Okay, like very good looking, like Chris Hemsworth good looking, like Chris Evans, like Captain America, very tall, very good looking. Whereas copper is very short, very ugly. That's what you see. Carbon can rampas the oxygen away. That's why you see there's a reaction. Okay, campuran membakar, the mixture burns. Okay, when there's a reaction, it means that there's a rampas wife story going on. Next, P oxide and carbon. Is there any reaction? Yes, you see the mixture glows. That means carbon still takes the oxygen away. But you see, this has higher reaction. This has lower reaction. That means P is actually higher than copper. P is actually better looking than copper, taller than copper. That's why carbon want to rampas the wife away. It's not so easy. Okay, that's why it only glows. Whereas carbon to rampas wife away from copper is so easy because copper is so ugly. That's why you see the mixture glows. Okay, so arrange the metal starting from the most reactive one. So who's the most reactive metal? That will be magnesium. Okay, magnesium is the best looking, followed by P, followed by copper. Copper is the ugliest metal here because the mixture is the biggest. Okay, the reaction is the biggest. Okay, so explain why there is no change when magnesium powder is heated with carbon powder, because magnesium is better looking than carbon. But you cannot say better looking. You have to change better looking to reactive. Okay, magnesium is more reactive than carbon. Okay, so you can 2 marks here. Magnesium lebih reactive daripada carbon. So carbon cannot displace. Okay, not displace. Let's use reduce. Carbon cannot reduce magnesium. What does it mean by reduce? Reduce is menurunkan. Okay, reduce means rampas wife. If I can rampas your oxygen away, I can rampas your wife away. I'm reducing you. I'm reducing you from married to single. You see, I reduce you. I make you lower. I make you worse. I reduce you. Okay, so can carbon reduce magnesium to single? No, because magnesium is so much better looking. All right, so number 3, suggest one metal that might possibly be P. So what might P be? Okay, so you see, anything below carbon is your Zaka, Fantastic, Supplier, Perkawinan, Jun, Ahmad. So as you know, copper is here. Of course, P is higher than copper because copper will just burn. Glow means this thing is not as bad looking as copper. So it could be any of these 4. So you can write any of these. You can choose one of it. So I'll just give you 4 answers lah. Zinc, iron, tin, and lead. Just choose one. Zinc, besi, timah, dan lembu. Your choice, which one you want, up to you. It shows that you understand P is between carbon and copper. It cannot be lower than copper because if it is lower than copper, you will see an even bigger fire here. This thing burns like crazy. No, this thing only glows. That means the mixture is, the difference is not so much. Carbon and P is only a little bit different. All right, next. B, diagram 8.2 shows a blast furnace in the extraction of iron metal from iron ore. Okay, so this is our relau bagas lah. So what is substance M? You see, iron ore. What is coke? Coke is your carbon. Okay, so iron ore is our iron oxide. So you see what is trying to happening here. What's happening here? Carbon is trying to run past the oxygen away, so we get pure iron. You might say, sir, aren't these two enough? I just need carbon oxide and iron oxide and carbon, right? Why do you need M? M is your calcium carbonate. Okay, calcium carbonate. You need this thing. Why do you add this thing? Now, what's the function of your M? Okay, you can say you use this to produce carbon monoxide. You can use carbon monoxide to run past oxygen. If you say, sir, I don't want to write this, can? Can. You can say to produce slag. Okay, untuk menghasilkan sangat. Remember, this thing is to use to make your cement. Slag is to make your cement. Right, so explain why molten iron is collected at the bottom of the furnace. Why is iron here? Okay, why is iron at the bottom? Because it's the highest density lah. Like I said, what highest density will sink to the bottom. What? Okay, because it has the highest density. Okay, ketumpatan paling tinggi. Okay, so it will sink to the bottom. Okay, tenggelam ke paling bawah. Okay, it will sink to the bottom because it's the densest. Okay, so state one use of slag. Told you already lah. Is to produce cement. Okay, menghasilkan cement. All right, so let's move on. I'll try to finish this as much as I can. Akio push a box with a force of 30 Newton over distance of 20. Work is done. What is work? Work is the product of force, distance. Okay, product, daya, jarak. So what's the work done? So it's 30 times 20, 600 joule. And then it takes 10 seconds to push the box. What's the power? It will be 600 divided by 10, that's 60 watt. The unit for power is watt. This is how you measure your electricity. Remember how many watts you use per month? That means how much you need to pay lah. They calculate it by watt. All right, so B is a water ride. Okay, the car starts from A, travels to F, where it will be stopped by a bumper. So that means the car will go wee like that. Okay, so that means here has the most GPE, here has the most KE. Remember, gravitational potential energy and kinetic energy. Energy will be converted. So state 2 points where the car has no kinetic energy. No kinetic energy. When the car is not moving, it will be at A, and I think it will be at F. F is when the car stops. Okay, when this thing langgar the bumper, this thing stops. Then there's no more speed. Okay, the thing is zero. So number 2, Serena thinks that the car has maximum GPE at point D. Is it here? No, because GPE, gravitational potential energy, tenaga keupayaan gravity, it depends on height, ketinggian. Is this the highest place? No, A is the highest, so GB is the highest here. So do you agree with her? No. Okay, D is not the highest place. I think it's the highest place. So D bukan letak tempat tempat. So state the principle of conservation of energy. I said already lah. Energy in a closed system always remain the same. Okay, that means you don't destroy, you don't create it. Tenaga dalam sistem tertutup biasa dikekangkan. Right, so let's move on. Okay, so number 10. One Amina is baking a cake. She uses a baking tray to bake the cake in the oven. So this is an oven. So state one example of good heat insulator. How do you insulate this heat in this oven? You can use, okay, how do you insulate heat? You can use wood, okay, or plastic. Okay, kayu or plastic. So state 2 methods of heat transfer in 10.1. So how does the cake get heat from the oven? Okay, it's either by convection, okay, perolakan. Remember what is perolakan? That means the air is going like that. Hot air will rise, cold air will go down. Remember your bayu laut and bayu darat, land breeze and sea breeze. That's your convection. And the next method is by radiation. So when okay, you look inside your oven, you will see 2 sticks underneath here. You see 2 sticks at the top. So these 4 sticks, they will produce heat. They will become red hot when you switch on your oven. So the heat will go to the cake by radiation. But this one you learned it in like last year already. So see, one Amina uses 2 different containers to bake her cake. She found that time taken to bake the cake was different. So if he uses a silicone, it takes 20 minutes. If it is a metal, it takes 45 minutes. Why is the silicone shorter? Because probably I think it keeps the heat inside. It insulates the heat inside the cake. It keeps the heat inside the cake, so the cake bakes faster. I don't think you can put silicone in oven, isn't it? I mean, anyone who bakes here, because putting silicone in oven, I think is a bad idea. You will melt the thing. So I don't know. I don't bake, but it doesn't make sense to me. So explain why the time taken to bake those cakes was different. Okay, so it is shorter for silicone than metal. Okay, lebih singkat untuk silicon. Okay, berbanding dengan logam. Okay, why? Because silicon is a good insulator of heat. Okay, it keeps heat in the cake. Okay, keeps heat in the cake, so the cake will bake faster lah. So silicon adalah penyebab haba yang baik kekalkan rubber di dalam cake. So it keeps the heat there, so it can cook faster. But it makes no sense to me lah. I don't think you put silicone tray in the oven. My goodness, this thing will just burn and you'll be eating plastic. Okay, so anyway, so this is how Puan Amina cools the cake lah. She put it in the cake rake, the redai cake. Okay, so justify the action. Why did she put it here? This is made from metal. As you know, metal is a good conductor of heat, right? Okay, so justify the action. Wajarkan. So do you think it is correct? Okay, so you can say the rake is made of metal. Okay, redai what? Pada besi. Not besi lah, logam. Okay, so metal is a good conductor of heat. Okay, logam adalah conductor baik. So it will conduct heat away from the cake. Konduksikan rubber cake. So it carries the heat away, so the cake will cool down. Is this how to cool down a cake? I don't know. I don't bake. Maybe. Just guessing. All right. So you know what? This is question what? Question 10. Yeah, this is question 10. So question 11 and 12, I'll leave it up to you to do. Okay, I'll leave it up to you to do 11 and 12. Okay, we will. This is level. This is really easy, and then this is gravity. Okay, so we will move on to question. We will move on to set 2. But first we will take a 5 minutes break lah. Okay, so it is 4:37 now. We shall come back at 4:42, 43. Okay, so go and have your break. I will see you in 5 minutes. Okay, so see you later. Okay, hello, welcome back. Right, let us continue with our set 2. All right, set 2 is going to be a little bit faster lah, because some questions they are a little bit repeated. All right, so let us go into question set 2 here, which is this one, page 6. Okay, let us go into page 6. So let's start with the heart. Okay, the heart is the most headache one to learn, isn't it? If you still remember what you learned this year, beginning of the year. Okay, so let's make our life easier lah, huh? I'm just gonna draw my heart in square. Okay, I'm just gonna draw my heart in square. I've actually taught this before already. And let's label. Okay, you have 4 rooms in your heart, 4 chambers, which is your right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle, atrium kanan, atrium kiri, ventricle kanan, ventricle kiri. Please remember your kanan kiri when you write is reverse, because when you look at your book like this, and when you reverse your book like this, your right side is here. It is your right side. So when you turn this thing, when you look at your book, of course, it's song sang already. It's like when you're looking at a person. Okay, so the thing is reversed. So how do you know atria is upper or ventricle is upper? How do you know this? Very easy. Can you see atria is pointing up, A is pointing up, B is pointing down. It already shows you the direction. So atrium is pointing up, so that's the upper room. Ventricle is pointing down, so that's the lower room. So 4 rooms here. And then you have 4 rooms and you have 4 pipes. Very easy. So we have 1 pipe going into right ventricle, which is a vena cava. 1 pipe coming out from right ventricle, which is a pulmonary artery. And then 1 pipe going into left atrium, pulmonary vein. 1 pipe coming out from left ventricle, pulmonary vein. Oh, pulmonary vein. That's your aorta, sorry. How am I repeating this? Okay, aorta. So 4 pipes, 4 rooms. So how do they work? Your deoxygenated blood, okay, deoxygenated blood will come in from vena cava, goes into right atrium, right ventricle, exit from pulmonary artery to the lungs. Okay, to the lungs. And then your pulmonary vein from the lungs will go from your pulmonary vein into your left atrium, into your left ventricle, exit via your aorta to your body. Okay, can you see they both go the same way? This one is like that to the lungs. This one is like that to the body. Can you see it's like same pathway, same pathway. One is to the lung, one is to the body. So whenever you see the word pulmonary, can you see pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein? Pulmonary means lungs. Okay, so COVID-19 is a pulmonary infection. It's a lung infection. Pulmonary. Okay, pulmonary infection. Okay, it's a lung infection. And then of course, when you say artery and when you say vein, okay, people will usually think that, okay, artery means it carries oxygenated blood. Vein, it carries deoxygenated blood. Yeah, generally it's true, but you see, pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein, they are the reverse. Pulmonary artery will carry deoxygenated blood, whereas pulmonary vein will carry oxygenated blood. So you see, this is not the error of naming. Artery and vein, it has nothing to do with whether it's carrying what blood. It is about the direction. Okay, if it is named artery, that usually means it is exiting the heart. And then if it is named vein, it is usually entering the heart. You see, vena cava, right? Vein, right? Enters the heart. Pulmonary vein, right? Vein enters the heart, towards the heart. Artery, right? Exits the heart. Pulmonary artery, aorta, both exits the heart. They are called artery. So whether something is called artery or vein, it depends on the direction, not the content of the blood. Content has nothing. It's just that by coincidence, they all carry oxygenated for artery besides your pulmonary artery. This is the only artery that carries the oxygenated blood, and vein, pulmonary vein is the same. Okay, they are in reverse. All right, so this is your heart lah, huh? You see, when I draw it in square, this is so much easier to understand. 4 rooms, 4 pipes, rather than this mess. Right. Of course, you have your valves. I didn't draw my valve. You have your tricuspid valve here, bicuspid valve here. You have your semilunar valve here. I mean, if you want, you can go and memorize them. So if you are really lazy to memorize about the valve, then don't memorize. You just memorize the function of the valve. What's the function of the valve? Function of the valve is to prevent backflow of blood. Mengelakkan darah daripada mengalir balik. I don't want my blood to go backwards. I only want my blood to go forward. That's why I have valves. So this is tricuspid and bicuspid. Even if they ask, it's only going to be one question. If you say, sir, I can memorize the 4 rooms and 4 pipes, but the valves I'm not really comfortable with memorizing, okay, then don't. There's only 1 mark. You can don't stress about that 1 mark. But of course, these you have to know lah. I really simplify the problem for you. All right, so our circulation system is called double circulation system. Okay, system peredaran berkembang, is it? Okay, double lah. Why is it double? Because you see, one cycle is to go to the lungs and come back. 1 cycle is to go to the body and come back. So you see, you have like 2 circuit, dualita. Okay, one is to go lungs and get oxygen, one is to go body and give oxygen. So you have 2 cycles. That's why I call it double. That means the blood will pass through the heart twice. Okay, go to the heart, go to the lungs. You see, pass through the heart once already. Now go to the body, back to the heart, go to the heart twice. So double. Okay, so we have two names. The circulatory system going to the lungs is called pulmonary circulatory system. System peredaran pulmonary. Like I said, pulmonary is the one going to the lungs. And then systemic circulatory system. System peredaran systemic. That means it's going to your system. It's going to your body. Okay, so blood flows to the heart twice. So blood pressure. All right, so your blood pressure is around 120/80 lah. Okay, not really 120/75 lah. 120/80 is the healthy heart pressure. Any of you have a heart pressure monitor at home? It's really cheap lah, 100 something. You can just buy from pharmacy. It's like a thing tying to your cuff here. Okay, there's a cloth. You just tie it here, and you just press the machine. The thing will go, and then this thing will just tighten, and then it will loosen. Then they will show you what's your reading. Okay, so 120/80 is healthy. If you are 130/90, you are considered as pre-hypertension. You know, it's pre-hypertension. That means you have high blood pressure, but it is the beginning stage. Hey, you don't think that, oh, so I'm so young, I won't get this. You see, high blood pressure most of the time is genetic. If your mom has it and your dad has it, most likely you will have it too. So please go and measure it every day. I mean, if you have to lah. Because you see, why are we so, why do we care so much about high blood pressure? When your blood pressure is very high, what is the first organ that is going to be under stress? That would be your heart. Next, it will be your kidney. Okay, because your kidney is a filter. Your kidney filters blood by pressure. So if your blood pressure is very high, you are going to tear the filter in your kidney. Okay, imagine this. You install a water filter at your home. Suddenly one day, your house got large water pressure, too much of a water pressure, your filter will burst. Same thing, if your kidney is constantly under high pressure, you're going to damage your kidney. This is why usually people who has hypertension, high blood pressure, they will usually have heart problem, they will usually have kidney problem. It's like a link. When you have kidney problem, your filtering doesn't do so well, you will have liver problem. When you have liver problem, you will have digestive problem. You see, everything is linked together. This is why you see, when people get obese, they will get high blood pressure, diabetes, and so on. It's like a package. You don't just get one. You get all of them. So good for you. You see, you buy one, get all free. Okay, it's not a good thing to have. So how do you make sure you have a healthy heart? All these are just, good to learn. So how do you make your heart healthy? Everyone knows this. So reduce your salt, sugar, and fat and cholesterol. Don't smoke, take alcohol and drinks, and take alcohol drinks or drugs. Alcohol can lah, time to time, okay. Exercise regularly, 30 minutes, 5 times a week. Okay. Not what our health ministry said. Our health ministry said 2 times 20 minutes every time. That is so little exercise. Hey, even 5 times 30 minutes per week, that is not a lot of exercise. Think about it. 5 times 30 is 150 minutes. That's like what? 2.5 hours? 2.5 hour exercise. Hey, 1 week has 168 hours. Okay, you minus half lah because you are sleeping, half of it you are sleeping. Okay, half, just minus half lah. You have like 80 something hours remaining. Please don't tell me you have 80 something hours a week. You have no 2.5 hour allocated for exercise. That is just excuse. Okay, no, just go and exercise. Any exercise, okay, just even go jogging for 30 minutes 5 times a week. It will make your heart healthy. You will live a long and healthy life. Trust me. All right. So next, eat fruits, vegetables, cereal, and seed. These are fiber. You know what's so good about fiber? Number one, fiber makes you shit. It makes you shit very nice in the morning. Number two, fiber cleans your blood vessel. What we are very afraid of is cholesterol on our blood vessel. It will make your blood vessel thinner. You will get stroke or heart attack. So how do you clean your blood vessel? You eat fiber. Okay, where with your veggie and whatnot, they will just clean your blood vessel. And of course, if you are really paranoid, go for heart examination once a year. Okay, for me, this is a bit excessive, unless you have like congenital heart problem, like you have heart problem, family history, and then maybe you need to do it once a year. And of course, live a stress-free life. Okay, please don't be under long-term negative stress, okay, because it's not good for your heart. This is why some celebrities or some people under long-term stress, they die young. Okay, like in Japan. Okay, Japan, there's something called karoshi. Karoshi is 劳累死 in Mandarin. That means work until you die. Okay, do you know in Japan it is very common? People in their 20s, they work, and then by the time they are in their 30s, it's either they kill themselves or they die because of work, because it's too much stress. Okay, hey, they work for like 13 hours per day. Okay, you are only awake for 16 hours. 13 hours in Japan, you are already working. So you only have like 3 hours to do stuff you like. The rest you just sleep. So how can you not be under stress? All right, anyway, so electrostatic charges. The main point for this chapter is light charges repel, positive repel, negative repel, positive negative attract. Light, different charges attract. Okay, and please take note, only electrons will move. Protons will not move. If I gain electron is negative, right? I become negative. If I throw electron, I throw negative away, I become positive. Okay, so what are the examples? Okay, your electrostatic in your fabric. Okay, your metal chain of your oil tanker. When you see the petrol tank, you will see a chain hanging at the road there. And of course, lightning. Lightning is because of electron jumping, electrostatic. The rubbing of clouds, electrostatic. And of course, Ohm's law. Remember, R equals to V over I, Ohm's law. So V is your quick revision. So imagine there's a river. Okay, because electricity is like a river. It's a flow of electron. So V, voltage, is the speed of the river. I, current is the width of the river. R, resistance, is the resistance of the river. Rintangan, I'm stopping the river. Something fighting the river. Okay, like on a river, you have stones, right? The stone will slow your river down. So the stones are resistance. Rintangan. All right, this graph you can don't memorize. It's okay, because this chapter is mostly calculation. All right, so next, first class labor. Talk about this already. Okay, you just look at the guy in the middle. Okay, FLE. And of course, like I said just now, moment. Okay, moment is force times perpendicular distance. So the larger the distance, the larger the moment. If your spanner is this short, you see, very hard to turn your spanner. If your spanner is this long, well, you see, very easily you can turn, right? So if you want to open your car tire, if your spanner is like this short, how do you turn your car tire, your nut, the tire nut? If you want to take out a tire, you will use a long spanner, okay, like 2 meters. You can just turn easily. That's moment. So how do you increase your moment? Either you increase your force or you increase your distance. Okay, use more force or you make the stick longer, which is easy. Use a longer stick. Okay, unless you're like a strong man, then you couldn't just produce more force. Okay, because your muscle is limited. All right, so next, heat insulator. Talk about this already. Something that insulates heat. And then 3 types of heat flow, which is your conduction. This happens in solid. Convection, which is the perolakan, happens in fluid, which is liquid and gas. Hot liquid and gas will rise. Cold liquid and gas will flow to the bottom. This is why hot air will rise. Okay, the top of your house is very hot. The floor of your house is very windy because cold air is at the bottom. In an aircon room, it's the same. And then radiation is how sun gives us heat. This can move through vacuum. Yeah. So really easy stuff. Okay, heat absorption, same as just now, heat radiation. So who is a better heat absorber? Dark and dull surface. Permukaan gelap dan pudar. And then of course, who is a poor heat absorber? White and shiny surface. Permukaan putih dan kilat. So they can reflect heat. So this is why you wear white clothes, because they don't absorb heat. All right. So next, hearing. Okay, this is in your form 2. So our human hearing, you can only hear from 20 to 20,000 hertz. This is our limitation of hearing. And this range of hearing will get lower, will get narrower as you age. Okay, what is frequency? Okay, before that, let me do some revision. Frequency determines your pitch. Low frequency means very bassy sound. Okay, low frequency. High frequency is the all the treble sound. Okay, the it's high frequency. Okay, high pitch. Right. So that's a frequency, and of course your amplitude determines your volume. High amplitude, loud volume. Small amplitude, low volume. So if this is your wave, this is the amplitude. This is the frequency. Okay, the lower the frequency, the further away your graph is. That means they are very far apart. If the frequency is very high, that means they're very close together. Right? So as you get older, the ability, okay, when you are 60, 70 years old, can you still listen to 20,000 hertz? Most likely not. Because as you age, everything on your body starts to get loose. Your skin get loose, your eye muscle get loose. That's why you have rabun tua. When you are old, you have, in Mandarin called lao hua. That's why old people cannot read newspaper, and even your eardrum becomes loose, so you cannot hear loud, as much as when you do when you are young. All right. So what is stereophonic hearing? Stereophonic means both sides. Okay, 2 sides. You listen from both of your ear. So when you listen to music, sometimes left side and right side is different sound. That is stereophonic. Monophonic is when you listen to one side. You take off one earphone or you listen to one side. So that is monophonic. Mono is 1. Stereo is 2. So why do we use stereo? Stereo because we can detect sound accurately. We know where's the sound coming from. Now this is very important, especially for animals. Predators, they need to use stereo to detect prey. Prey, they need to use stereo to detect where's the predator. So you see, mostly you see preys, mangsa, you see like deer, sheep, all these predators are like rabbits. All these prey because they are very weak, they cannot protect against them. They cannot protect against predators. So this is why they have their ear at the top here. Because when their ears are at the top, they have very sensitive hearing. So whenever there's a predator that's very nearby them, okay, they will know. Then they just fly away. Go away. Okay, so this is your ear. There's not much here besides the fact that you only need to know about your eardrum. This thing will vibrate when there's a sound. And then of course your cochlea. Your cochlea is the main part. It converts your sound into your nerve impulse and send a signal to your brain. It's like a translator. Cochlea is a translator. It translates sound signal to electric signal so that your brain can understand. Your brain doesn't understand sound. Your brain understands electric. Okay, and what are the ossicles? These ossicles are like amplifier. They amplify sound. So there are two parts that are not related to your hearing, which is your eustachian tube. This is for your ear pressure, tekanan telinga, and your semicircular canal. This is for balancing. So this has nothing to do with your hearing. All right. So moving on, thermochemistry. Okay, this is really, really simple. You just learn this like this year. What is exothermic? Exo means exit. Heat exiting, surrounding becomes hot. Endothermic, enter. Heat entering, surrounding becomes cold. So example. So this one you read it yourself lah. All these will make surrounding hot. You see, burning makes surrounding hot. What is exo? And then endo. For example, melting of ice. Okay, when ice melts, surrounding becomes cold. When ice melts, your drinks become cold. You see, endothermic because they absorb heat. So you can use this in a hot pack lah. Okay, I'm not gonna go for this lah. Too simple already. All right, so this is model test 3 already. I'll leave it up to you to do this. Okay, I will do 2 sets today. The other 2 sets you can do it yourself. Okay, don't worry, the answer will be posted. The answer will be posted. If you are too lazy to do, I'm actually okay. You can just read the question, look at the answer. Read question, look answer. This is how you can quickly revise. If you really want to do, if you say you have no time, you want to do something, then you do the objective question lor. Objective question saves you a lot of time. Okay, so anyway, label X and Y. So your X is your trachea. Okay, X is trachea. And then Y is your diaphragm. Okay, Y is your diaphragm. Write this yourself. I'm just too lazy. Okay, bronchus is these two. Okay, remember when they branch out, they are like 3 branches. Branches, bronchus. Branches, bronchus. Very similar. Okay, and then of course you have bronchiole. After bronchiole, you have alveolus. Okay, so B, mark for the correct statement about gaseous exchange in the alveolus. So concentration of oxygen is lower in the alveolus than in the blood capillary. Is it so? Okay, let's do revision for alveolus. Okay, your alveolus looks like this. Okay, and then this is your blood capillary. So you first have to know, where is oxygen going? Is it from the blood to the alveolus or alveolus to the blood? Okay, obviously it's from the alveolus to the blood. You are taking oxygen in. So for oxygen to go from alveolus to here, alveolus should have more oxygen, blood should have less oxygen, right? Because diffusion always go from high to low. People always go from crowded place to less crowded place. So is this true? No, this is false. Okay, because concentration of oxygen is lower in the alveolus. No, it's higher in the alveolus. Okay, so this is wrong. This is higher. Okay, next, number 2. Transport of oxygen across the surface is called diffusion. Yes, resapan. Next year, if you take biology, you will see diffusion like everywhere. Absorption of food, diffusion. Production of hormone, diffusion. Plant absorbing water, diffusion. Plant absorbing carbon dioxide, diffusion. Plant giving out oxygen, diffusion. Every freaking thing is diffusion. You'll see diffusion like every chapter next year in biology. All right, so number 3, wall of alveolus is 1 cell thick. Yes. Okay, your alveolus is really thin. And then number 4, oxygen combines with hemoglobin when reaches the body cell. No. Okay, oxyhemoglobin, if you still remember, when oxygen combines with hemoglobin, it becomes oxyhemoglobin. This happens in the lungs. I'm taking oxygen in the lungs, not in the body. In the body is where I give the oxygen. So this is reverse. Okay, so do you know you can measure this? You can measure your hemoglobin. There's something called the SpO2 meter. Because of this COVID thing, everyone is buying this thing. Basically, it's like a clip. You clip it to your thumb. They will show you, okay, your SpO2. This is your saturation of your oxygen. If you are not doing anything, you are sitting down, and then you clip your finger. And if you have this at home, when you clip your finger, okay, they will usually show you 100% oxygen. That means your lungs are working perfectly fine. If you are doing nothing, your SpO2 drops to 80, most likely you have a breathing difficulty. And in this case, most likely you have COVID. You cannot breathe. Hey, trust me, when you are doing nothing, if your SpO2 is 80, that means you only have 80% oxyhemoglobin in your blood. You'll be panting already. You'll be like, you cannot, you are like breathing a bit difficult already. If you are in ICU, you're like serious COVID patient, your SpO2 can drop to like 40. If your SpO2 drops to 40 or 50, the doctor needs to put a pipe inside your lung to help you breathe. That is the moment you need to start praying, because you have very high chances of dying. That's why they put you under the breathing machine. Okay, so go and vaccinate yourself. Don't be stupid. Okay, vaccine doesn't save you from death. Okay, it makes your life easier. Okay, sure, you got vaccine, you will still get COVID, but even if you get it, the symptoms are much lighter. Okay, maybe if you don't get vaccine, you need a breathing machine. Okay, you need a ventilator. After you got your vaccine, you don't need to. You can just it's just a normal fever, and then you just recover. Okay, so who says vaccine doesn't work? If your friend tells you vaccine doesn't work, please slap him and wake him up. Seriously. Okay, so next, number one. This is about your eye. Controls the size of the pupil. That will be your iris. Okay, iris. Iris is the black color part of our eye. Asians, ours very lame one. This is black. Okay, you look at the Ang Mohs one, you look at the Mat Salleh's one, it's usually blue or green. Or two. Okay, have you seen heterochromia? Heterochromia is a very rare condition where the person has two different eye color. One side is blue, one side is green. It's a mutation. This is a really cool mutation. You have two different eye color. So that's the iris. And then next, number two, to give eyeball the shape, that will be your sclera. Okay, sclera is the white color part of the eyeball. You see this white color part here? That's the sclera. And horizontal does not have any photoreceptor. Okay, the part without receptor would be your blind spot. Okay, you know your eyeball, right? Okay, the part that goes to the nerve, this is the blind spot. There's no nerve on it. There's no receptor on it. So any image here, you will see nothing. Okay, next, number four, there will be a retina. Okay, and then for your BM, this is iris, sclera, dentate, nuta, and retina. Okay, really easy. So number four, underline the correct statement about sound wave. Okay, I just mentioned this. Loudness, volume. Volume depends on amplitude. If I'm speaking very loudly, my wave is like this. If I'm whispering, then my wave is like this. All right. So frequency is measured in hertz. Decibel is for loudness. Okay, decibel is for loudness. So what is decibel? Decibel is the volume that your ear can tahan. That means, okay, 70, around 80 lah. 80 is the cutoff point. 80 decibel is anything above 80, your ear will start to get uncomfortable. For example, if you go to a vacuum cleaner is like 90. That's why vacuum cleaner makes your ear hurt. It's not comfortable, okay, because it's really loud. It's not very nice. All right. 80 is like pasar. You go to a wet market or you go to a restaurant, that is 80 decibel. It is at the limit already. It's where our ears start to get a bit uncomfortable. If you go to like a rock concert, okay, if you switch on your earphone very loudly, that is like around 100 already. If you listen to like rock music, or you listen to dance music, okay, those very, very upbeat music, you can go to 100. If you go to rock concert is like 100, 120. Okay, 120 is rock concert. 140 is where you can damage your ear. This is a gunshot. Okay, this is a gunshot. That's why if you practice shooting, please wear an ear muff. Okay, I tell you lah, even as small as a pistol, that thing can make you deaf. Do you know how strong gunshot is? That is just a pistol. You try a sniper and see. You try and play with a rifle and a sniper without an ear muff, your ears is gonna bleed. Have my words. That's why you see people at shooting range, they wear their ear muffs. It is a must. All right, so B, circle two equipments that help humans to overcome limitation of their hearing senses. Okay, so how do we help our ear? You have your stethoscope, you have your megaphone. Binoculars and periscope, they are for the eyes. All right, next. Number 4, these are few animals. All I can see that they are all mammals. Okay. Yeah, they're all mammals. So take for the correct common characteristic of the animals. Okay, so what are the common characteristics of mammals? They reproduce by giving birth, yes. Lahirkan anak. Besides platypus lah. Okay, platypus is the only one that lay eggs. They are the only mammal that lay eggs. Very weird. Okay, so number 2, body temperature changes with surrounding. No. Okay, we are what we call warm-blooded. Okay, or there's a word for it. We call it homeothermic. That means you're warm-blooded. Whereas cold-blooded, okay, like your reptiles they are poikilothermic. Okay, so breathe through gills. No, mammals got 2 gills. Carry out internal fertilization. Yes, that means the sperm and the ovum meets inside the female body. So cover with hard scales. No, you got fur, you got no scale. You got hair. Okay, apes have hair. So next B, what is X? You have your flowering here. Obviously, X is non-flowering plants. Okay, tumbuhan tak berbunga. So correct example of X. Who is non-flowering? That would be this guy. What is this? This is a fern. What paku-pakis, right? Anything that has fruits will have flower. Anything. Okay. Even durian, you got durian flower. Banana has banana flower. Okay. Apple, you got apple flower. Orange, you got orange flower. Pineapple got pineapple flower. Papaya got papaya flower. Every fruit has their flower. Because flowers are the reproductive organ. Fruits are the children. You have reproduction, you will have children. For sure. Okay. So do you know that rose, they can produce fruits as well? It's just that we don't eat them. Not all fruits are edible. All right. So number 5, classify the following disease into infection and non-infectious disease. Who are infectious means berjangkit, you can pass it to others. For example, your leptospirosis, this is a rat urine disease, and your tuberculosis, this is a lung disease. Okay, just like a COVID is a lung disease. And then, of course, non-infectious is your cancer. You cannot pass cancer to others. And then, of course, your diabetes. Okay, I mean, genetically wise, yes, you can pass it to your kid, but you cannot pass it to anyone not related to you. So it's not infectious. Okay, like COVID. COVID is a very infectious disease. That's why it is very feared, because they can pass on to many people. So next, number 6. So this is a human blood circulatory system peredaran darah. PQRS are the main blood vessel. So let me color this first. Let me make it clear. All the left side will carry oxygenated blood. Okay, I'll color this for you. Okay. And all the right side will carry deoxygenated blood. So if I color like this, now you understand already lah. So who carries oxygenated blood, which is your R and S. Okay, whereas your P and Q carries deoxygenated blood. Darah terdeoksigen. All right, so name the part label X and Y. What is your X? X is your tricuspid valve. Okay, inject tricuspid. Now, if you cannot memorize this, it doesn't matter because it's only 1 mark. Okay, sometimes student tells me, sir, the valve is really hard to memorize. Then don't. Okay, it's only 1 mark. So what is Y? Y is this thing here. This thing in the middle. This is what we call a septum. Okay, septum. They will separate right and left ventricle. Because you see, if I don't, okay, do you know there's a condition called a hole in the heart? Okay, jantung berlubang. When your jantung berlubang, means there's a hole here. Okay, there are a few holes here. That means your oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, they will mix. So your heart becomes less efficient. So you need to go surgery and you need to fix these holes here so that you can have a normal heart. Okay, it doesn't mean you will die, it's just that you get tired very easily. So number 3, the human blood circulatory system is also known as double circulatory system. Explain. Okay, so the blood pass through heart twice. Okay, darah melalui jantung 2 kali. Okay, so explain. So you have your pulmonary circulation, your systemic circulation. Okay, peredaran pulmonary, peredaran systemic. Okay, one is going to the lungs. This one is to go to the lungs. This is to go to the body. Okay, hey, think about it. Your lungs and your heart, they start working the moment you are inside your mom. They work all the way until you die. If you live 80 years old, means your heart and your lungs, they pump for 80 years. That's why your heart and your lungs, they are very amazing organs. They don't stop. Yeah, sure, when you sleep, your heart slows down, your lungs slows down, but hey, it keeps working. Okay, so take care of your heart and your lungs, go and exercise more, and you will live a long and healthy life. Okay, you want to live till you're 80, then make sure you exercise 5 times per week. Human body is designed to run, to exercise. Okay, your ancestors exercised a lot because they went hunting. Now we don't hunt anymore. We become too comfortable, so we start eating more. That's why obesity is a problem now. All right, so B, Mr. Kumar went for a blood pressure test and found out that his pressure reading was 130/80. You see, he is like slight high blood pressure already. Okay, so what can you say about Mr. Kumar's blood pressure reading? Okay, so we can say it is higher than normal. Okay, lebih tinggi daripada normal. So state one possible reason, because he has high blood pressure. Tekanan darah tinggi. Okay, this is a shitty answer lah. It's like asking, why do you have high pressure in your blood? Because you have high blood pressure. Well, no shit. Obviously, why are you hungry? Because I'm not full. Okay. If you answer your mom like this, I'm sure your mom is slapping you. But hey, this is the answer. I'm not joking. This is the answer. Why is his blood pressure higher than normal? Because he has high blood pressure. Okay, it's like a troll question. Okay, so number 3. Suggest one way that Mr. Kumar can do to recover from this condition. So many things. Okay, exercise regularly, balanced diet, don't smoke, don't drink, don't do drugs. What else? I've done it already. Yeah, all those things. Okay, balance a healthy lifestyle. Do you know that sleeping is also important? Get enough sleep. Do you know why you need to sleep 8 hours per night? Because you need to let your heart rest. You see, if you sleep 6 hours every day, your heart need to pump heart extra 2 hours every day. So if the thing adds up, you're putting stress on your heart. This is why some people after they overwork, they die. Imagine if you work 18 hours today, and then you only sleep 6 hours. Tomorrow, you work like 20 hours, you sleep 4 hours. Long term, you don't sleep well, you're going to die in a few months. Go and try. Okay, so you need 8 hours of sleep, period. You need it, especially you are growing now. Okay, so senam bersenam, gerak bersenam, and your gizi seimbang, balanced diet. Okay, so number 7 shows the charge in 2 different objects. So write the charges of the above object by the number of charges. Write the charges. So I have like 5 positive here and 3 negative here. I would be 2 positive. Okay, whereas this is 5 positive. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 negative. This is 2 negative. Okay, but so number 2, lightning is an example of phenomenon related to electrostatic charges. Explain how spark is produced in lightning. So how does lightning produce spark? Okay, so how does lightning produce? How is lightning produced? Okay, lightning is when electrons jumping from one cloud to another. Okay, or to the ground, you can say. Okay, electron melompat dari satu awan ke lain. So when it jumps. Okay, so jumping of electrons produces spark. Okay, lompatan elektron hasilkan percikan. Okay, there's a spark. So this is how electrostatic causes fire. This is why they say when you get down from your car, you should actually go to your any metal parts in your petrol station. Let's say you are going to a petrol station. You should go before you pump your petrol, you should take your hand and touch any metal part to release the charge, because your car is moving in air. When there's a friction between your car and the air, you will have charge. Okay, so that charge can actually produce a fire when you start pumping petrol. But do you see your parents doing that? No. Do you see me doing that? No, I don't do that too, because nobody remembers. Okay, sure, there will be a chance of starting a fire, but the chance is really, 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 really low, unless you're really bad luck. Okay, but you should actually do that. But nobody cares. Nobody does that. So next B. So we have 2 circuit. Okay, dualita, PQ, studied by electricity. So state the comparison of ammeter reading. Okay, so ammeter reading is this. Ammeter reading is the current, which is the I. Okay, so you see, one is a long wire, one is a short wire. What does this have to do with anything? Long wire has a high resistance. Short wire has a low resistance. Okay, think about that. Which is harder to walk, a long road or a short road? Of course, a long road, because a long road has more resistance. It's harder to walk. So according to our Ohm's law, okay, V is not changing because same battery. So if my resistance is very high, my current is going to be very low. If I divide by a small number, I will get a large answer, isn't it? So in this case, if I have a very high resistance, I would have a very low ammeter reading. Okay, so compare the ammeter reading. So the ammeter reading of P is higher. Just write like this. P is going to be higher than Q. Bacaan ammeter P lebih tinggi daripada Q. Ammeter reading P is higher than Q. So write like that. I'm just writing short form for you so that it's easier for you to revise. So explain why. Okay, so as the higher the length, the higher the resistance. Lebih panjang conductor, lebih tinggi rintangan. I'm just writing it like this, again, short form. So when you have higher resistance, okay, according to Ohm's law, you will have lower current. Lebih tinggi rintangan, lebih rendah arus. The higher the resistance, the lower the current. So when you have lower current, okay, so ammeter reading will be lower. Bacaan ammeter rendah. Because ammeter reading is to read your current lah. Okay, wow, really short answer, huh? Okay, I'm just writing it for you to understand. You don't need to, I mean, in exam, you have to write full sentence lah. The longer the length, the higher the resistance, the lower the current in the circuit. Okay, the lower the ammeter reading. You have to write the full thing. Okay, lebih panjang kontaktor, lebih tinggi rintangan, lebih rendah arus dalam lita, lebih rendah bacaan ammeter. That is a long answer. But I'm just writing this for you. I don't want to, do grandfather story here. Okay, let's just face it lah. We are too lazy to write. At least I am. All right, next. Number 8. Chong opens his father toolbox and found several tools. So there are two tools here. Who the hell puts a tong in a toolbox? What the hell, man? What is this question? Okay, fine, whatever. So you should have your beban here, your load, fulcrum, and effort. I see F is in the middle. This is first class. Then you have your load here, effort here, and your fulcrum here. E is in the middle. This is your third class. Right? So FLE, first, second, third. So label the position for effort. Okay, I did that already. AE. And then explain how to identify the class of lever. So how do you identify the lever? First, you determine fulcrum, effort, and load. Okay, menentukan fulcrum, daya, lever. Determine where are they. Where's your FLE? All right, so the first two is first class. Okay, why? Because fulcrum. To explain class is always something is between what? Because I'm just gonna write shortcut lah. Fulcrum is between L and E. Okay, fulcrum terletak di antara beban dan daya. This is always how you explain that. As for the second two, okay, for the second two, okay, this is for the first two, this is for the second two. The second two is third class. Why is it third class? Because E is between L and F. Okay, daya di antara beban dan fulcrum. Okay, so something is always between this and that. That's how you explain. So why is it second class? Now, who is at the second class? Second class, L is in the middle, right? Now, why is it second class? Because load is between L is between F and E. Beban di antara fulcrum dan daya. Okay, so easy, 3 marks here. And then C, force the X on an object that can rotate is at a fixed point. This is called moment. So there are two different tools here. You have R and S. So which one is rotating? Obviously R. This is not, this is just a lever. So which tool produces moment of force? That will be R. Okay, so moment is rotating lah. So Chong takes out a spanner from his father's toolbox and try to loosen, not lose, to lose a nut. Okay, so label the pivot. Okay, what is pivot? Pivot is fulcrum. Okay, bouncy. Bouncy means the point not moving, which is here. Pivot. Okay, the point that is rotating, that is a pivot. And number 2, based on diagram 8.3, write the formula of moment of force. So what's the formula? Formula of moment is force times perpendicular distance. Okay, why is it perpendicular? Perpendicular means 90 degrees. All right, so in this case, It's 60 times 0.3. Why is it 0.3? Please change your cm to meter. That's your SI unit. You put 30 here, gone case, you're going to be wrong. So you will get 18 Newton meter. Right? Meter, that's your Form 1, Chapter 1. What's SI unit? Okay, 5 length, mass, temperature, what else? Time and current. Okay, so meter, kg, Kelvin, ampere, and second. So please change it to meter. If you use cm, then you're wrong. All right, so next, number 9. On a rainy afternoon, Sami prepared a mug of hot chocolate. State Sami's choice of mug that can keep the drink warm. Okay, so how do you keep the drink warm? You need a poor heat radiator, right? You need a poor heat radiator or a poor heat absorber. You need something poor that cannot carry heat. So you would use a white and shiny mug. Okay, white and shiny. Okay, putih dan berkilat. Why? Because it is a poor radiator of heat. Okay, penina haba yang lemah. So white is not good in giving heat away. That's why you put it white. So B1, while sipping the drink, Sami used a palm to hold the mug. How can heat be transferred based on the action? Now you see, when I'm holding the mug is solid. My hand is solid. So what is this transfer? This is called conduction. Okay, conduction. Okay, konduksi. So heat is conducted from the mug and okay, dikonduksikan dari what is mug called? Kole. Is it kole? What is so weird? Kole tangan. Okay, conduction. So solid is conduction. When you have water and air cycling, that is your convection. And then when you have sun, when you're sitting next to a fire, you can feel the heat. That's radiation. So when you sit inside a car, you put your hands out to the window. Ooh, you can feel the sun's warmth. So that's your radiation. Okay, so they can just transfer through everything lah, vacuum or whatever. So next, the other day, Sami checks the weekly temperature forecast because she plans to go out. So as you can see the temperature here, wow, obviously she's living in Malaysia. Hey, Malaysia, 29 is like hot enough. It's like, wow, very cold already. If during daytime it's 29, wow, you are like already, so cool. 37 is when it doesn't rain lah. Okay, when it is raining like gila, when it is not raining like gila, you wait. Lately it's been raining, isn't it? So the weather forecast says it will rain until mid of October. When November and December comes right before Chinese New Year, the heat wave will come. So when the heat wave comes, you will very frequently see our temperature hit 37. That's the time that you need to be in aircon room all the time. It's so hot, you go outside, you just melt. All right, so which is the best date for Sami to carry out outdoor activity? What does this have to do with heat leh? Okay, there will be 6 April. Okay, why? Because it is the lowest temperature. Okay, suhu paling rendah. Oh, fun fact, our comfort temperature, okay, our comfort temperature is 25. So you should put your aircon at 25. I don't know lah, for me, 25 is a little bit cold already. If my aircon is 25, I'm a little bit shaking. Okay, 26 is my 26, 27 is a comfortable aircon temperature. If you need to put it at 16, seriously go and service your aircon. I cannot, even 20 is like, my goodness, mind-blowingly cold. If you need to put 16 and you still say, sir, I'm not very cold at 16, it's either you are so fat that you need to lose some weight because you are full of fats that insulates you, okay, it makes you hot. That's why fat people are very hot, okay, or you should service your aircon. Okay, 16 is like mind-blowing, it should be mind-blowingly cold. All right, so number 3, her appointment falls on 9th April. Oh my goodness, God bless her. So suggest what Sami should wear to reduce the effect of heat on the day. So she should wear short sleeve, okay, or short pants. Why? Okay, oh sorry, forgot to write the BM. Okay, you should say baju beningan pendek or salor pendek lah. So why? Because clothes are heat insulators. Okay, pakaian bola penebat rubber. So that heat insulated. So you wouldn't want to insulate yourself during hot weather. This is why when sometimes when I go to H&M, I look at all those coats. I'm like, isn't it great if Malaysia has winter? You know, I can buy those long coat, those really cool jacket. No, you cannot wear jacket in Malaysia. You will die of heat stroke. Sometimes I saw those really cool jacket. You know, look, I have a friend who's a hype beast. Okay, you know what's a hype beast, right? He wear all those very trendy brands. Okay, all those Adidas really thick jacket. I will ask him, aren't you hot? Okay, he said yes, but okay, it's really cool though. I'm like, yeah, okay, good for you. You can never wear those clothes in Malaysia because you'll die of heat stroke. Okay, that's the thing. That's the thing about our weather lah. Okay, anyway, number 4, Salmi is having a fever next day after appointment. Okay, she wants to stay indoor and have some rest. Suggest what Salmi can do to reduce her fever besides taking medicine. Okay, what can she reduce fever? Okay, she can put cold pack on the forehead. Okay, letak pack sejuk the, is it called dahi? What is the forehead called again? Yeah, my BM is like karat already lah. Damn long then use BM already. Okay, so what does this thing do? Okay, it will conduct heat away from her head. Okay, konduksikan apa dari kepala. So when you are fever, is the heat of your head that you cannot stand. When your body is hot, it's okay. But when your head is hot, when you have fever is when your head is hot. So when you put the cold pack, it cools your head down. Then it makes you feel much more comfortable. All right. So fever is usually when you have infection lah. It has nothing to do with whether you are heaty or not. There's no such thing as heatiness. This is what we Chinese believe in. No such thing. When you are fever, you have infection. So why is it after a cold day you get infection? Because when you are in a cold weather, cold temperature makes our immune system weaker. When your immune system is weak, it is easier for virus to infect you. That's why after a cold weather you get sick. That's the reason. Not because whether you are heaty or whatever. No. All right. So number 10. Jeremy is looking at a chart showing the hearing range of several animal species. As you can see, human will really suck lah. It's 20 to 20,000. All animals are better than us. You see, you look at dolphins. They really kick ass lah. They're 40 to 100,000. Okay, we are like the lowest range. Okay, so which has the highest range of hearing? That will be a dolphin. Okay, ikan lumba-lumba. So predict the hearing range of human as age increase. Give your reason. So when you are old, anything lower than 20,000, it might be just from 30 to 18,000. Just any range is accepted. As long as you are higher than 20 and lower than 20,000, it should be closer range. Why? Give your reason. Because the eardrum becomes loose. Okay, gendang telinga menjadi longgar. Okay, the thing longer, then that means you're not very good in hearing already. This is why sometimes when you speak to old people, you need to speak louder. Okay, I know lah, you should speak softer to someone elder because of respect, but sometimes old people they just couldn't hear you. Okay, hey, not only your ear becomes worse, your field of vision also becomes smaller. This is why old people when they cross the road they cannot see cars as good as when you're younger. This just happens when you're older Everything just starts deteriorating. Okay, unless we can become a cyborg next time we can have technology to replace our eyes and replace our ear. Okay, who knows, in the future it's like cyberpunk already, maybe. All right, so number 3, explain how the hearing range of rabbit and rat benefited their survival. So how is this better for them? Okay, when they have wide range of hearing. Okay, so when they can detect a wide range of sounds. Okay, mampu mengesan bunyi julat bunyi yang luas. I think it's called julat. Range is julat, right? I'm mistaken. Okay, the hearing range of yeah, julat pendengaran. Okay, not julat pendengaran. Okay, so detect a wide range of sound, able to detect danger easily. Okay, if you don't want to say danger, you can say predator. Mampu sun bahaya atau pemangsa dengan mudah. So this is why you can never catch a rabbit. You can try. Rabbit has very strong survival. Okay, how does rabbit survive? Number 1, they have very good hearing. Number 2, they reproduce like crazy. Have you seen rabbits or rats they reproduce? Okay, they just have sex like crazy, and then they can just produce many babies. Now you just try and see. You have 2 rabbits and see, they will just populate your whole house in like no time. That's the reason. That's how they survive. They produce a lot of rabbits. So next, JKLM. So label them. So J is your semicircular canal. Okay, salo separuh bulat. K is your eardrum. In the gendang telinga. L is L. Is L the nerve? I don't really see. Okay, I think L is your auditory nerve. It means your hearing nerve. Saraf auditory. And M is your eustachian tube. Okay, tube. Eustachio. How to spell it? Eustachio. Whatever. Almost that spelling. I couldn't spell the word. Okay, after years of teaching, I still couldn't spell this stupid word. Okay, so explain the effect if K is punctured. If you puncture this thing, okay, you are not able to detect sound. Okay, tidak dapat memesan bunyi. Okay, so you will get hearing loss Okay, hearing loss. Okay, kepekakan. Okay, you pekak So you lost your hearing. Okay, kehilangan pendengaran. So that's how you become loss of hearing. So how do you burst your eardrum? Is usually by loud sound Okay, because this actually happened to one of my friends' dad. He picked up the phone. He was using landline. Okay, that means your house phone. So he was using a house phone during a thunderstorm. So unfortunately that day, the thunderstorm struck his home's landline, and then suddenly there's a loud "pak" sound. Okay, after the "pak" sound, he lost his hearing, and then he started bleeding. So this is why you don't talk on a landline during a thunderstorm, because if a lightning happens to strike your landline, that's how you get hearing loss. Okay, so what should you do if you get hearing loss? Actually, it's nothing one. Okay, it will be painful lah. You just go to the hospital. Okay, they will just stitch your eardrum back. Okay, it's like when you koyak your pants already, your mom just stitch the thing back lah. Okay, she just hit the thing back. Okay, it's like a normal procedure lah. Okay, medical procedure. So C, while traveling on a hilly road, Jeremy feels pain in his ear and the car move as the car moves upwards. You see, this is what happens when you take a plane. Have you noticed this? When you take a plane, when the plane takes off, wow, my goodness, you feel your ear very painful. So two ways to overcome the pain. Okay, you can swallow your saliva. Okay, you can swallow, menelan. I think that's the only way. You can only swallow. Okay, swallow. How the pain occurs? Okay, when you climb up, okay, as altitude increase, altitude is the ketinggian, as altitude increase, atmospheric pressure decrease. Apabila altitude meningkat, tekanan atmosfera menurun. Okay, so when surrounding pressure low, inside your ear, the pressure is still high. Okay, so pressure inside the ears, okay, inside the ears are high, pressing on eardrum. That's why it feels full and painful. Okay, tekanan dalam telinga tinggi, jadi menekan pada gegendang telinga. Okay, so it presses on the ear, so you feel that pressure. So what do? You swallow your saliva. Okay, what happens? Your eustachian tube, that tube is connected to your throat. So when you swallow, you're like opening a valve, let the air come out. You're like balancing the air really. Okay, it's like your water bottle lah. When you have an empty water bottle, let's say you're from KL, and then you go to Genting, when you climb up to Genting, surrounding atmospheric pressure is low, the water bottle becomes very full because the air is from KL, high pressure. Surrounding Genting is high altitude, low pressure. So when you open the bottle, you'll hear, okay, because the air is like coming out. Whereas the opposite, if you go from Genting to KL, Genting low pressure, the bottle also low pressure. When you reach KL, KL is low altitude, pressure is high. So they will press on the bottle, so your bottle will just crumple up. So this is like what happens in your ear. That's why when you take off, when a plane takes off, you can feel your ear, you have that pain. It's not very normal, just swallow. Just swallow, you can normalize the pressure. All right. So wow, we are going very far for this part, because we are going very fast. Okay, make sure you can understand. So Aswa carries on an experiment about thermochemistry. She puts thermometer into 3 different beakers containing different solution. Shows the thermometer reading in an experiment. Wow, so blur, how to see? Wait, this is 70, right? I guess 71, 72, 73, 74. This is 74, I guess. Wow, cannot see lah. Okay, this is 30, I guess. This is 28. Okay, 28 degrees Celsius. Look at this. This is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's 15, I guess. Wow, rabun already, you cannot see. Okay, so state the observation for beaker X and Y. Also, this is normal temperature. Okay, so this is the beginning temperature. As you can see, when this is becoming hotter, obviously this is an exothermic. This is endo. Of course, absorb heat from surrounding. Surrounding becomes cool. Okay, this one release heat to surrounding. Surrounding becomes hot. So state the observation for x and y. Okay, for x, temperature increase. For y, temperature decrease. Suhu meningkat, suhu menurun. Okay, so next B, Aswa holds the beaker and her hands feel hot when touching beaker X and feel cold when touching beaker Y. State the beaker that represents exothermic. Okay, give reason. But it is so easy. Okay, X is exo lah. Y, because it release heat to surrounding. Okay, surrounding, to the surrounding temperature increase. Okay, membebaskan haba ke sekitar. So, suhu persekitaran meningkat. Okay, as for Y, this is endo, the opposite answer. Okay, absorb heat from surrounding temperature decrease. Menyerap haba dari sekitar, suhu persekitaran menurun. Wow, 4 marks like that. So actually this thermochemistry chapter is, usually doesn't come on exam one. Even if it comes out, there's only one question because this is too easy because most of the answers are the same. Okay, my answers are very short because I'm not trying to give you a proper schema jawaban here. I'm just trying to make you understand. So C, give 2 examples of exo and endo in our daily life. Okay, exo is burning law. Okay, pembakaran. Or if you're feeling fancy, you can say combustion. Okay, combustion is just a very, very posh way of saying burning lah. Okay, endothermic is your melting of ice. Okay, peleburan ice. All right, next, Asfa buys an instant hot pack for her study. Asfa used the hot pack to relieve her leg cramp. How does the hot pack function? Okay, so how does hot pack function? Okay, they use something called sodium acetate. Okay, when pressed, okay, sodium acetate produces exothermic reaction. Okay, apabila ditekan, natrium asetat hasilkan tindak balas exothermic. Okay, so it will release heat to surrounding. Okay, so the heat pack comes hot. Bebaskan haba sekitar pack panas jadi panas. Okay, well, obviously, wow, I have to write 2 languages. It hurts my hand. I've been writing non-stop since the morning. I have just now it was Mandarin seminar. I already write 2 languages. Now English, I have to write another 2 languages. Okay, consider yourself lucky, because Yiqing usually doesn't write one. Okay, I'm very merciful, so I write for you. Oh, I'm very sore my hands. It's like 6 hours of writing. Okay, anyway, so this is the answer lah. Really easy lah. So that's it, I think. Yeah, the next one is model set paper set 3. Okay, this one you can just do revision, and if you don't feel like doing this, I don't blame you. You can just read the answer straight, read question, read answer. Treat it as like a speed revision. If you have the time, you can do. So of course, no problem. If you don't have the time, you can revise. You can just read the answer for this, for set 3 and set 4, and try your best to do the objective. I'm sure you have time to do objective. It's just ABC. Okay. So of course, this is not the revision for everything. we will have another seminar on January. Okay, we shall revise more by that. Okay, so you should have no problem doing your final exam. So you should be able to get A for science. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for lending your ears to me for 3 hours. I know it's not easy. Everybody is tired. Okay, so I guess that's it for today. All right, I will see you the next seminar or next week if you are coming to my class. All right, so that's it for today. Hope you have a happy weekend. I will see you soon. All right, so take care. Goodbye. Ciao.